Welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast.
If you like a lot of wrestling on YouTube, join our cult. Hello and welcome. Oh, it's WrestleMania week. This is our life. Get the coffee. Drink it up, drink it up, drink it up. Yes, it's that time of the year again where there's more hours of wrestling than there is sleep. So, fret not if you can't be bothered to watch all of it. We've done it for you. You're listening to dulcet tones of Maffew, presenting as always the Cultaholic Weekly Wrestling Podcast with the towering NXT Takeover himself, full of kickouts and inquisitive thoughts, often mid-match. It's Ross, Stand and Twiddell.
Hello, Maffew. How are you doing?
You can tell it's just kicking in, can't you?
Yeah,
I'm doing great, mate.
A big fat line off my desk in front of me, and it's been absolutely fantastic. Hey, bloody hell. And I made the mistake earlier, because I got in the office, just to peel back the curtain here, everybody. It's Friday morning as we're sat here doing the podcast. I got in at 6 a.m. to make sure I could consume all of NXT, and I was thinking, oof, I'm not going to make it through till midday. I need to get myself some food in. So I've been getting this meal delivery service, right? So at 7 a.m., I cracked into some loaded potato wedges with chilies and stuff, and I feel as rough as a badger's horse. You should not be eating that kind of food at 7 a.m. on a Friday morning. I feel terrible. How are you doing, lads?
Oh, brilliant. I'm still at that stage where I sort of might have accidentally passed out last night. So I was in like early yesterday. I think I got in for about 8 o'clock, just before 8 o'clock. And then last night I was like, I'll just get up early. I'll get up early, go to the office and watch it there. And then it started and I was like, oh, I'll probably start. And now, after I passed out and woke up on my couch in a heap, still fully clothed in my clothes from yesterday, I'm in that stage where it feels like I'm still in a bit of a fever dream. And at any point, I'm going to look around and I'm just not going to be wearing any pants. And then I'm going to wake up bolt upright and be late to the podcast in real life. And you're all going to be like, where have you been?
Fantastic. Well, usually the body is a temple, but during WrestleMania week, it becomes the back of Weatherspoons. And joining us, as you've just noticed, the special guest this week, the NXT UK prelude of Cultaholic, because we only talk to him every 4 months. It's Sam Driver.
Hello.
So apart from you and your pants and falling asleep on the couch, how have you been, pal?
I've not been too bad. You know, it's just, as always, this time of year, we've got to make sure all the content's ready to go out, and it gets mega heckin' stressful. And there's just a big Excel document printed out on my desk, and I'm just having to go line by line, going, what am I doing today? What am I doing tomorrow? What am I doing the day after? But everything seems to be fine. After last night, I'm going to have to make sure that I'm just drinking liters of coffee when I get home for the remainder of the weekend. But, you know, everything will be all right. Everything will be fine. It's WrestleMania. It's once a year.
That's a spirit, line by line, so you and Ross have something in common. Let's waste no time and get right in the news, because we've got the rest in the cover. R.I.P. Jack Veneno. I've never had to pronounce the name before, so I'm sorry, maybe it's Veneno. The Dominican Republic wrestler who infamously defeated Ric Flair in 1982 for the NWA Heavyweight title, as Ric Flair changed the finish mid-match due to being convinced that he wouldn't leave the area alive if he retained.
Well, Roddy says that apparently he goes for a roll-up, and he just sees all of these National Guard just turn their rifles, and it was like, roll up. And that was it.
Yeah, there's a good video of Flair and Piper discussing this trip, because Flair only went if he had Roddy Piper as backup.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how effective that was against the National Guard and their machine guns.
Yeah. I mean, he can handle himself in a
documentary
fight. But yeah, when it comes up against like 50 armed guards.
Would Roddy have had bubblegum? That's the question we need to ask ourselves.
And would he be all out of it? Yeah. Just
Yeah. He would have cut a promo, but they wouldn't have understood it. So it's like, ah.
But Veneno became a local legend. Like, I'm sure they made films about his life. There's been all sorts of stuff. But like, he was the guy because of this. And it basically made his whole career just launch into the stratosphere.
Absolutely. He relinquished the title because he wasn't willing to leave his country to defend it. And the change was never recognized by the NWA. And that did make him a legend. But also, the stories about Roddy Piper apparently being paid off in cocaine and the plane journey back where he hooked up with one of the air hostesses and got the entire plane to sing Jingle Bells. This match took place in September. So RIP, Jeff Venino, beg your pardon. Thanks for the memories. The Wednesday Night Wars is officially our, as NXT moves to Tuesdays next week. And I can't be the only person who is very annoyed, just for OCD reasons, that it ended after 80 weeks. They couldn't have waited three more weeks to lose in the ratings.
It's a romantic idea, but again, it would have to have them, kind of admit a defeat. And when was the last time they ever did that?
I was going to say, Sam, I can't wait to see how they spin this in the upcoming Peacock series of documentaries and whatnot. And was that the fire alarm at your end, Sam? It sounded lovely.
Yeah, it sounded quite quiet. I thought there was a buzzer in here. I was expecting to get that, when you just sat there going, maybe I'll be all right, maybe I'll be... And it's just right behind you. But no, that's it done.
Come for the wrestling. Stay for the fire alarm discussions. Cultaholic, believe in better.
But, Maffew, how are WWE going to spin this as to a victory for them? Because that's what they always do.
They will come out in a suit next week and go, I never cared about Wednesdays.
They'll big up Tuesdays as being like a bigger primetime deal, and they'll go on that route, just regardless of whether, it's true or not. It'll just be a case of, we're on a major network and all of this and blah, 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 and Peacock and subscribe, and there's not as much stuff on it, but there will be soon.
Well, Tuesday comes before Wednesday in the week. Therefore,
there you
that
go.
means it's better.
More important.
Yeah, I reckon they're not going to say a damn thing until we say what the ratings look like when they're not going head-to-head. Because if they stay the same as they were, that's going to be hilarious. So, in other news, AEW are not only producing another YouTube show about life outside the ring for these wacky wrestlers, but they've also, I guess as a way of saying thanks for ending the war, maybe it was part of the deal, Jericho has gone on Austin's podcast. And Tony Khan was absolutely all right with this, apparently, Ross.
Yes, it was due to Stone Cold Steve Austin hosting the show. And even though I guess this is just us jaded wrestling tits sat here with our jaded mindset and whatnot, they're not going to discuss, is AEW going to get mentioned by name? I would be surprised if they do. I know they did that teaser clip where Sammy Guevara gets mentioned by name, but I guess that might have been done to appease us idiots here and go, ooh, they might actually say the forbidden words. Oh, but they're not going to have like any sort of groundbreaking discussion, are they, where we learn some new things? It's just going to be the old bollocks, isn't it?
I think they'll mention them by name. I think they'll go that far because people keep saying from within the company that Vince isn't fazed by AEW. He doesn't see it as a threat, and it's kind of similar to how they would always talk about Impact, right? And we didn't expect that. And then we had Dixie Carter on the network eventually, and discussions with Kurt Angle about, time elsewhere and Jeff Hardy. And I think
it's a bit different to that, though, is it not? They wouldn't have mentioned it like Impact back in 2008.
I don't think they'll be like singing its praises or anything, but I think for sure it'll be like, well, but now we're over at AEW, and they'll just sort of throw it in like a normal conversation, because it'd be weird if they didn't. And I think it'll be, WWE restricting what's being said. And with this sort of thing, I think they'll try and not make a big deal of it, but we're all obviously going to go, this is AEW, and get really, really excited.
Now, because of the connection, they ask the real question is, all right, Tony Khan, let's just get right to the point. The world wants to know, how's Billy Gunn doing? The guy who got the loudest AEW chant that's been so far in WWE. WWE used footage of another wrestler during Ethel Johnson's Hall of Fame video, Family Speaks Out. I skipped most of the Hall of Fame this year because I think it loses a lot when it's done in front of the Thunderdome. And it's just like, thank you for an amazing career. And it cuts to some screens and it's... The
best part, right? The best part was at the end of JBL's induction, and he goes, and I am a wrestling god. And they piped in the crowd chanting along with JBL, wrestling god, because that's exactly what would have happened if actual fans were in the arena. Yeah. It was amazing. But I've watched all of it, for some strange reason, because I'm a glutton for it's not punishment, is it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, well, go on, it's punishment.
You just get a bit of like seasonal insomnia around this time. It's all just learned now from so many years doing it.
Molly Holly stole the show. She kicked off her speech with only two people have been shaved bald at WrestleMania. One was the most influential person ever in professional wrestling, and the other was Vince McMahon.
Hey.
Go on, Molly Holly.
Molly go round. Anyway, Ethel's niece tweeted, "Y'all need to fix this because if you're going to use my Aunt Ethel in the Hall of Fame, at least reach out to family. And the video you guys used isn't her." And this isn't the first time they've gone, who's this really, really old wrestler who predates electricity? No one will notice. They did this for, I believe, Professor Tanaka, for, Odd Job.
Right.
I believe, I'll have to look at who it was because I couldn't have told you about looking it up. But they used the incorrect footage. And I didn't notice it until one person went, no, that's actually not that person they used.
Wow.
And it's like, oh.
I mean, they have so much in their library, you'd think they'd already have something, but I guess there's no real excuse for it, is there? It's just kind of, you need to do your research a hell of a lot better for a show this size when you're inducting people into a Hall of Fame, which is supposed to be about them and their achievements. And then you show somebody else. It's just, I mean, it's nothing but disrespectful, is it?
Yes, and we know about disrespectful Hall of Fames. So we know how...
What on earth are you talking about?
They're really partnering up with Cameo for WrestleMania 37.
That's a genius idea, that.
Who'd have thought of that? Yeah, suddenly they're all right. Now the protection money has been paid.
Have you seen how much Shane McMahon is? Obviously, he doesn't want to be doing loads of them. That's why he's priced out. But $500. $500. You better feel that sweat flicking against your skin as he's shouting at you down your phone.
Is that the currency exchange rate now? Because it's 375 quid. I didn't realise there was that much of a difference.
I think it was listed at 500, but it might be. All I know is that our currency is probably worth less than chocolate buttons now.
You can get Randy Orton, Shane McMahon, and Ric Flair for £375.
Okay,
good deal. Friday. You can get all three members of the New Day separately, or £187.50. Omos is £112.75 or something like that. I'm trying to remember the conversions here.
Okay.
I remember Scott Stanford was about 19 quid.
I thought you were going to say Scott Steiner there. I was going to be like, what?
I was thinking Scott Steiner. I would have ended this podcast now and got me card out.
Yeah, then you got people like, I think Sami Zayn's about 150 quid, and then you got Seth Rollins, I think it's 300. It goes up and down, it varies. It's incredible.
So I point out that for Cameo, I don't use it very often. I used RVD. He got back to me in a week. Fantastic. I did Tugboat because I want them to do a Chic Tugboat impression because it's my favorite, what could have been moment for WrestleMania. And he came back within an hour and did the video. So shout out to Chic Tugboat there. He didn't remember what I was talking about, though. Sorry to interrupt. He didn't know what I was talking about. So I had to do Chic Tugboat. Because everyone knows the story that the original idea was going to be Tugboat turning heel on Hulk and joining up with the proud Iraqi warriors. But until they went, maybe Sergeant Slaughter might be better for this. So I did do Chic Tugboat, and he did an Iron Sheik impression. I'm like, good enough, mate.
My only experience with it so far has been the Great Khali, and we sent the Great Khali just a really simple 3 lines that we knew we could fit in and it would be funny for the song, and then he just came back with just exactly what we wrote, but then just bookended with "Hello guys, you're all great. Keep working hard, doing what you're doing," and it was like, okay, Khali, thank you.
Some other news here. Bailey says she doesn't know why she isn't on WrestleMania. Has pitched things, but to no avail. I cannot give you an honest answer, dude. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. It just didn't happen.
I mean, they've still had that tie to Sasha with Bailey. They never quite fully resolved that, and I don't know why it just kind of stopped dead. We could have had Bailey. I mean, she was involved in the Belair storyline from the get-go initially until, about 2 months ago? That was maybe the last Ding Dong Hello we saw. And then that's been it. And it's sort of like, well, she's someone that I think could have been used a little bit more in the build. Maybe not necessarily be a part of the match, but if you're not going to put her in that match, then what are you going to do? And she should be on the show. I don't understand why she's not.
Yeah, I stuck a tweet out last Saturday after SmackDown because I thought it was so strange that she wasn't involved in SmackDown last week at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
And a couple of people said, she's had sort of stuff going on in her personal life and whatnot. Maybe the company's giving her time off. And I was thinking, yeah, that's fair enough. If she needs time off, have time off. But then she's gone and said that to TalkSport, now her pal Alex McCarthy. So it would seem that they've just ran out of ideas for her at the most important time of the year, which is something. It's really unfair on her because she's been on fire for the longest time. I like the new Bailey, me. Fantastic stuff. Shame.
Aye. WWE announces rules for WrestleMania 37. Picking out one of the lucky 20, 40, whatever the number they're going to announce. 93,000 fans that are going to be at the stadium this weekend. Masks are required at all times, unless you are in your seat eating or drinking. You are not allowed to gather in common areas with people in places like the concourse. All food and drink transactions will be cashless. I've never heard this before. There will be a reverse ATM machine to use. If you have cash, you can put the cash into the machine and it will give you a debit card you can use.
That's cool. I've never heard of it. It's clever, though.
No bags allowed in the stadium. You must sign a waiver that holds WWE, Raymond James Stadium, the city of Tampa, and everyone else harmless if you catch COVID at the show, even if it is due to the negligence of any of these parties.
I mean, when the whole concourse thing, how are they going to sell merch? Is it going to be an app that people just come running down and give you a T-shirt? Are they going to have guys out, where they'd usually be hawking beers and hot dogs, just John Cena T-shirts? Get your John Cena T-shirts, and then another one walking by a minute later. Randy Orton T-shirts. Get your and just keeps going.
They'll have to get the Amazon folk who deliver the Morrison's orders. You see them going up. I feel sorry for them with their big brown bags going around Morrison's. Just going, whoo, everything in there. There we go. Just do that but with wrestling shirts. It'll be fantastic. That's all. I'll not be as interested in the match as just watching the background, watching like the Amazon sort of delivery drivers dropping off shirts here, there, and everywhere.
It's going to be a fascinating 24 or 365, isn't it? This. Because they're 100% going to be filming all of it for the logistical side of it, because it's a nightmare anyway for them. But with people being re-added to the mix on top of it, this is going to be super, super interesting to find out about.
But so how was it dealing with the logistics of the Raymond James Stadium? It has to be awesome. I reckon they'll have the drones. It's like you order Roman Reigns' "I Am the Table" shirt, and then you just wait. It lands on your head mid-match. So I reckon that'll be it. And the APPG on wrestling looking to take the first step towards establishing an independent governing body. The group outlined 30 recommendations within the 103-page report, bloody hell, one of which was the establishment of trade bodies to more efficiently promote British wrestling. And initial suggestion would be to establish 2 trade bodies, one for independent wrestling promotions, another for touring promotions. Look, a lot of stuff there convoluted, but to summarize it, one small step to somewhere more positive, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's about time, we had a governing body for this stuff that's able to just look over the industry and make sure everything's okay. And on top of it, help push the industry forward, because it's kind of, we can't, especially in the current situation with the closure of venues and everything, the future of wrestling as somewhere you can go usually, once every fortnight has never been so up in the air.
Yeah. And the 2 nice bits at the end of the news. One is JoJo Part 6 finally got announced. Get in. And a guy on TikTok named VNDS Chicago is claiming that he bought Volta's stolen WWE UK title in March for $20 to $30. Upon realizing it was his stolen belt, he messaged Volta and returned it, with WWE giving him a signed replica title in return. That's a kind of nice way to end that story. Apart from the bit where the legitimate NXT UK title someone bought on the second-hand market for maybe $30.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people go, $30, really? But, it's one of those things, at least the belt's back, and at least, it's been returned to the company. Those belts are very, very, very expensive, so they got something really cool out of it at the back end as well. So
I wonder how you can tell the difference between, when you can buy the sort of $400 proper replica version and the official version. I wonder what the differences are.
I think he knew it was the real one because somebody was selling an NXT UK title, and there was no way anyone's bought the replica of that.
Hey, it's a beautiful title. I think it's the sexiest one WWE have today.
It's a really nice belt, definitely. But yeah, Ross, to answer your question, back in the day, they would have TV belts and road belts. TV belts would have better jewels in them. They'd be slightly better metals. They'd be more polished. They'd be shiny. So when they're out under the lights, they're sparkly. Road belts would just be like replicas. But I don't know the crack now, because I'm sure it's just at a point where they're using the replicas. But at the same time, there's always going to be one belt that was designed first. And that belt will probably have individual markings, and it'll probably be slightly bigger or slightly, off in some sort of way that the replica looks different so that they can't be identified.
There you go. Except no substitutions. Not the NXT UK title belts, all wrestling podcasts where we talk absolute twaddle. That's enough wrestling news. Let's move on to the next bit.
Everybody get excited for the Cultaholic Hall of Fame.
The Hall of Fame. In condescending order from last week, this will all be news to Sam. In last place, Dynamite's Arcade Anarchy match. 13%. Guess whose pick that was? The concept of sportsmanship. 28. Look, I don't mind losing. I don't mind losing to Ross's picks because he always picks good ones. But
It may as well just be the Hall of Ross at this point. Let's be honest.
No. That was a smart move by Jack the Jobber, I thought, because it was a callback. It was a callback to a previous Hall of Fame pick. The concept of music, was it not, or something like that?
Yeah, the callback to one of the other weeks where he couldn't be bothered to think of anything until 5 seconds before the bit. Yeah, you're right. The concept of sportsmanship, 28%. I'm glad that lost to the clear winner, Trent's mother, Sue. Maybe with a question mark in the end. Who knows? 59%. Take a bow, Ross Twiddell.
Yeah.
I'll take the flex as well.
How can you argue against Sue? You just can't. You can't.
Sam, I'm going to let you go first this week because I've got no idea what to pick. I had my idea in my head yesterday and it's flown out and I've got no idea what to say. So, Sam, please buy me some time.
Okay, so last night we did a stream called Marble Mania, and it was the first ever. It was the inaugural Marble Mania, and we had a Grand Prix of 3 races, and then we had a Grand Prix of 6 races. And I was made to promise that the winner of the first ever Cultaholic, Marble Mania Grand Prix would go, or at least be my pick for the Hall of Fame. But he's one of all of you listeners. So this is your chance. This is your chance to get him in there. But I've written down here, Gordon Shumway, 42 for Hall of Fame, winner of the first annual Marble Mania 6-race Grand Prix, a total effing legend, a true sportsman to the end, winner of a Shea Lounge in the esteemed Hall of Ball. The man deserves nothing less than immediate induction into the Cultaholic Hall of Fame and to all our hearts. And yes, he owns a Shea Lounge in the Hall of Ball, which is the Hall of Ball is where you get to go when you win the marble races. So, but somebody in there's got a chair and somebody's got a Shea Lounge, but everybody else is just stood. So he's currently, lording it over all the peasants. And I think a Hall of Fame place would be suitable for him. He went from DNFs. He was falling off the map. And then look at him. Winner of the Grand Prix. One of you lot. One of you listeners just out there. Now he's in the Hall of Ball.
Sucking up to Twitch fans. That's a wise strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Hey, we raided you, Maffew. You got to get on board with this.
You did. Of course, I'm forever thankful for that. But
I feel terrible because at the end of my Sunday streams, you're often reading Sabu's book, and people are going, "Raid Maffew," and I'm sat there. I don't know what buttons to press, so I never do. So if someone can let me know, I'll do it in the future.
I'll talk you through it. It's quite easy.
Oh yeah, you slash raid and then the name of the channel. So
whereabouts in the Twitch chat?
It's in the chat. Yeah,
in the chat, or you can. There's like a 2-click process on the back end as well.
Oh, I should really get these things explained to me before I start streaming.
I feel like such an old man with Twitch.
I've got no idea what I'm doing. Every single week, OBS is on the screen for me because I've got no idea what windows to have up and what windows to have down and everything like that. Bloody hell. 28 years old I am. Old as balls.
Maybe old as marbles. Okay, Sam's pick for the Hall of Fame.
Shumway
Fantastic
42
Ross.
for Hall of Fame 2021.
That's right. All those usernames you just said.
Gordon? Who?
Gordon Shumway.
Shumway? How are we spelling that, Sam?
SHUMWAY.
Oh. Gordon Shumway.
42.
42.
Yeah, don't get confused with the other Shemways. Be hell on.
Gordon Shumway 43 or 41. Those are not good guys.
Oh, no, we don't talk about them. Wait, those would be real people, actually. Watch what you say. So, Ross, you won last week. Do you want to go next, or shall I do mine?
If you want to go first, Maffew, I'll let you go first. I've got one, but if you want to go first, I'll let you go first.
Because it's going to be no surprise whatsoever. Because of so many lovely people tweeting me as the match was happening, including Jack, who's not here. He's in. Oh, sorry. Of course, he's here. I am here. So, it's going to be Volta again. And I think it's fair play to have him twice or 3 times. I forget. It's always good to have Walter in the Hall of Fame. But this week, 2 Volta matches. both as impressive as each other. One against Tommaso Ciampa, where he prevented him from becoming the NXT UK Ciampa. Maybe he should have got $30 instead on NXT Takeover Night 1. And then a few days later, he takes on Rampage Brown in the Prelude, which, thank you, again, another thing off topic. Thank you again for all the people who tweeted us, because our podcast last week, we're going, is it happening? It wasn't on WWE.com. There was no Wikipedia page for this event that was happening. It wasn't clear that it was just an episode of NXT UK with Prelude. And so I and other people were confused, and so I think some of the NXT UK people had to go, no, it is happening at this time. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks for clarifying. And yes, it absolutely did happen. Him and Rampage Brown, the best NXT UK match since the last Walter NXT UK title defense. So, Dr. Bombs, hard kicks, we'll get to it later on. But yeah, how can you not like the man named Walter? And maybe this will be the weekend, if they did a little tease on NXT TakeOver, where Joe goes, hey, want to fancy coming to USA? And Walter gave a very ambiguous answer. So I'm calling it now, not just because Walter is amazing, but because this is the closest we're going to get to Walter making a cameo appearance at WrestleMania. I'll come with the main roster. So if I put him in the Hall of Fame now, I will look really clever and smart if he shows up.
What's he going to do?
Bets.
What's he going to do at WrestleMania if he does get there, Maffew?
Whatever he wants, Ross. And by that I mean, due to restrictions, he'll order a John Cena T-shirt and it'll arrive and drop in his head. So.
Just pay Brock. Come on, let's just have it happen. Can you imagine? Could you imagine? Just give them 5 minutes and watch them just beat each other mercilessly. It'd be amazing.
I had a long title reign where I didn't defend the belt very often. No, I had a long title reign where I didn't defend the belt very often. Them fighting words. Yeah, that's mine. Ross, what have you got?
Well, so Sam, to set the stage for this Hall of Fame, myself and Maffew are having a flex off in terms of our picks.
Right.
Because 2 weeks ago I did a speech about Sheamus. The next week Maffew flexed by picking Sheamus for the Hall of Fame. I flexed back by picking Sue. Maffew's done a massive, big, sweaty Austrian flex here by picking Walter. So I'm going to come back with a flex of my own to try and usurp Walter in the Cultaholic Wrestling Hall of Fame.
That's a big ask, that.
By going for... Now, Sam's gone for a singular member of the Cultaholic Twitch community. So I'm going to go for
don't
every...
you dare.
I'm going to go to all of the wonderful people who were a part of Adam's wonderful Twitch stream on Tuesday on Twitch.
You political man.
No, this comes straight from the heart, this. The scenes of that stream, if you're not aware, Adam was doing his regular CUNT... See you next Tuesday streams. And he said the word itself there. See you next Tuesday streams. I'm not even sure how it started. I wasn't watching myself at the time. Someone donated subs or something like that. And TLC, Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls, just happened. A waterfall of subscribers and all kinds of stuff. Adam was getting emotional on the stream. He didn't quite cry, which was a shame for everybody watching. But yeah, it was just a wonderful thing and just more proof that our Twitch watchers and YouTube watchers and all that stuff, they're just wonderful, wholesome people. Obviously, we had a man named Vile last week delivering me beer. He's done stuff for Maffew in the past. I'm sure he's done stuff for you as well, Sam. It's just an incredible set of people who watch us here at Cultaholic Wrestling. I feel so bloody corporate saying this kind of stuff, but yeah,
we're blessed, though. We really are. And like everybody, like as you said, from the bottom of our heart, it means the absolute world to us. Like none of us sort of expecting anything like this. And I mean, it's just a bunch of idiots either watching old telly or playing games. And I mean, it's just because we'd, usually just be sat at home doing that. But it's nice. It's nice to have people to sit and watch with. And it's nice when you're all so lovely. So thank you all. That's
the thing as well, because obviously, like everybody else, COVID's hit us hard. Like, in the bank accounts and whatnot. So to see that on Tuesday and sort of, reap the rewards of that. It's kind of thank you all enough. We'd be absolutely buggered without you. And just so for that night alone and for, I guess for every other sort of interaction you do with us on the Twitch streams and the YouTube and whatnot, I'm going to go for the Twitch community at large.
I'm still going to say that's a nice political pick. As much as I agree with your sentiment, I just think it'd be like going, world peace at a Miss Universe pageant. You can't say no to world peace, can you? And this is I'll remember this. Sam Driver will remember this. Pops up in the corner.
I mean, you know what, Ross? You are right, though. It was an amazing thing because people were tweeting at me, which never happens for Pachiti's stream unless he's fired you. But it would go and check on Pachiti. And I went, oh God, what's happening? Is this it? Is he finally exploding in a sea of Roundtree's fruit pasta lollies, and he was attempting to read everything, and that man's Twitch, like his chat. It looks like when you're watching the financial channel and it has the thing at the bottom just going around, the Dow dealing is down 4%. And he was trying to read. He sounded like Joey Styles trying to call Jerry Lynn versus Rob Van Dam. Northern Light suplex today at $10. Oh, did he do? I mean, it was amazing the effort he was putting in. And it was just heartwarming to see because he was pink in the face, trying to read all this and keep up with it. And it was an hour of that. And it was like, okay. And I like to echo your sentiments as well, Ross, even though I do feel I've been hoodwinked, bamboozled and led astray by this pick because how am I supposed to pick against it? But I was having a crap day yesterday. I woke up down and I figured, well, you know what, I'm in a bad mood now, but the only way is up, right? I can be happy the rest of the day. Nah, it turns out you can go even further down. So I was just miserable and angry because even though the lockdown restrictions are coming down, people are getting the vaccine and stuff and so what, yeah, there still relies people, being able to socialize and hang out, and I haven't had the chance to do that. So I've been a bit like, every day is exactly the same, hate this. So I have really enjoyed doing Twitch. Way more than I thought I would because, here's me performing, I guess, wow, how's it doing? But now I'm enjoying it because not so much the serotonin you get from people going, hello, Maffew, you look magnificent. I'm like, oh, thank you. But it's like hanging out with your mates. It's the closest I'm getting to it. Yeah. If it wasn't for the likes of Vile and, I'm not going to mention some people because there's too many people to mention in these bloody chats that are amazing. If it wasn't for that, I'd be socializing with nobody. It'd be me and Deliveroo drivers and that's it. Yeah. So, thank you. Even though you're doing a jack, even though it is the concept of Twitch, you bastard. It's a fantastic pick, Ross.
I've got to say, by the way, you were mentioning there Adam trying to read everything out. I flicked it on because I think it was Fraser put a message in our chat here at work going, you need to watch this, lads. It's absolutely amazing what's happening. It's all kicking off. And I flicked it on, and Adam, as you say, was pink in the face, and he was literally panting. He was having to read that much stuff in sort of a, presenting sort of style, which it takes out you when you're doing it for a while. Yeah. And I was just messaging Owen. I was like, Owen, has Adam got COVID? I thought he was really struggling, but that just goes to show how much he was having to go through. It's just an amazing thing to sit there and watch, and obviously kind of thank everyone who sort of got involved in that. It was
sorry. Shane McMahonitis.
It was like a
but she was asked to do something strenuous like walk 10 yards. Look at that, get him. Bless him. Oh, God, sorry. Yeah. Well, there's a lovely, wonderful moment ruined by myself and my laughter, but yes. But he does not have COVID, by the way, as far as we know.
He doesn't know, no.
He's got everything bloody else, but he hasn't got that. And so, yes, those are the three magnificent picks this week. We have Marble Madness.
Shumway 42.
Oh, Shumway. Oh, specifically that person. Shumway 42.
Gordon Shumway. Is it Gordon? I'm sure it's Gordon. Gordon Shumway 42.
Yeah. Gordon Shumway 42. Someone's password, but it could be your Hall of Fame pick this week.
That's right. Somebody out there's frantically going, how do they know that?
Volta, in brackets, yet again. And you know what? We'll do it like James Bond. Volta with love. Second time we put him in. And that's my pick. And, of course, the concept of Twitch.
No, the Twitch community. The Cultaholic Wrestling Twitch community.
I just want to do the Jack thing. Sorry. Yeah, the Twitch Cultaholic community. And I would vote for you as well, but I want to win.
Yeah.
And maybe you could share my resentments. My sentiments. By going to patreon.com/Cultaholic.
This week in the wrestling. It's this bloody week in the wrestling.
The incredibly long week of wrestling. SmackDown. Edge has awakened, more dangerous than ever, en route to WrestleMania.
He's become a bastard once again.
He's the rated R superstar again. He looked in the mirror and he finally liked what he saw.
He hasn't shaved for a long time.
He's got a gnarly beard.
That's what's happened there, Maffew.
That was wonderful. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, they call themselves the Dirty Dogs. Or
top
the
dogs, guys.
Top dogs. Yeah, it does my head in.
You can call them what they like. The merchandise is not on sale on WWEshop.com. Just want to point out again, the shirts they wear, they are the only two in existence.
Oh, my God.
Going into business for themselves, brother. We all do it.
Brother. And do you think if you go to the WrestleMania 37 event and you try and order one of those shirts, the drones just fall?
to just fall out of the sky onto you. There you go.
Anyway, they team up with Otis and Chad Gable to beat the Street Profits and Rey and Dominic Mysterio. That is the entire SmackDown tag team division. And I've got to say, Otis and Chad Gable have really come into their own these past few months.
Mm-hmm. They have, yeah. Otis is a serious sort of wrecking ball heel. It works, doesn't it? It just shows what a versatile, lovely, wholesome human being he is, and performer. That's what I meant to say. Versatile performer.
My main issue with all of this is that, you know, the top dirty dogs / Rudolph or whatever you want to call them, they're the tag champions, but the entire focus of the division has always been elsewhere the entire time. And it's like, well, okay, and now we're supposed to all get behind this match. And fair enough, you know, the SmackDown match was pretty good. It was all right. And I'm assuming, you know, the Mania match will be pretty solid. Look at the names involved. It's, you know, it's not going to be a terrible match by any means, hopefully. But when the entire focus of the division is more on Rey and Dominic and, you know, everybody else but the champions, it's just kind of... we've kind of even lost payoff in the whole Street Profits side of things, because they were sort of getting their way back for a title shot, but now it's just been mixed in with a load of other people.
I feel like I saw that match that happened last Friday at least 4 other times, maybe 5, maybe 10.
It's just
feel like
same
I've seen
spots
happen,
in a different order.
Yeah, I just feel like I've seen that sort of 8-man tag sort of setup involving those set of wrestlers just so many times, even though I don't think I have.
Was it that match, or was it the week before when we had Dolph just get hold of Rey and just went powerbomb, and he just sort of threw him over the barricade, and it cut out to a wider camera angle, and you just saw Rey fall behind it, but his legs went too, and he didn't pop back up, so it just looked like he'd been thrown over a really high wall. It was just like, gone.
Like Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Cesaro came face-to-face with Seth Rollins ahead of WrestleMania. Someone sent me a link to where I can buy Seth Rollins' flame outfit.
It's Boohoo Man, isn't it?
Oh, you got it as well, yes.
Aye.
Yeah.
They've only got
podcast.
They've only got the trousers though at the moment. They haven't got the blazer in, because you can get the purple one as well. You had like a purple cloudy number on. I think was it last week? Was it last week? Yeah. You had the flame number on for the Hall of Fame. You had the purple number on last week. You can get them both at Boohoo Man, which I was gonna do, because it's not that expensive. It was like 30 odd quid for the trousers. So maybe it's 20 something quid for the blazer. I don't know how the price range works between trousers and blazer.
I just wear hoodies and t-shirts. So I need to dress up maybe for Mania, but we'll see.
This will be one of these tweets, isn't it? I'm sorry, hun, but the Seth Rollins Boohoo Man tights stay on during set. Natalya defeated WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Shayna Baszler. No. Did this happen?
This happened, Maffew, and it was awful. They rolled up.
Oh, yeah.
And then Natty rolled up Shayna. Shayna rolled up Natty. Natty rolled up Shayna, all in one motion. And then that was it. That was the pinfall there. Shayna got sort of out-wrestled, out-technicianed, out everything that she shouldn't be outwitted at. It was weird.
It was that small package spot, you know, where they go down and then they shift the weight and they just roll between 2 sets of shoulders. It was that 3 times and then pin. That was it. And then everybody got in the ring and it all went mental.
Shayna is terrible at reversals, which should not be a thing in the wrestling.
No, not at all. I was sat there going, this is going to be great. This is going to be great. There's going to be so much technical wrestling on display. And then literally like punch, roll up, done.
Her weakness is the roll up. She puts on her finisher, roll up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She gets a roll up, she gets rolled up. Anyway, still love Shayna Baszler despite the weird booking. Kevin Owens invaded Sami Zayn's red carpet trailer premiere because of that YouTuber showed up.
This was weird, Maffew, because I need to know what Sam's thoughts on this, because this is what I took away from it, right? Sami invited Logan Paul to the premiere. So Sami got Logan, the private jet, the limousine, all the bells and whistles and the pyro and the ballyhoo and all that stuff. Kevin Owens
Roddy Piper going to the Dominican Republic.
Logan Paul saw Kevin Owens when he got to the arena. Kevin Owens said something to Logan Paul. So when Logan Paul was watching the trailer, Logan Paul wasn't buying a single thing that Sami Zayn was saying. But then Kevin Owens rocked up at the end of the segment, and he stunners Sami Zayn, and he pushes Logan Paul. Who's on whose side here?
So, as far as I could digest it, I think that what happened was obviously Sami's rolled out the red carpet for Logan Paul. Logan Paul's gone.
I'm a freeloader.
massive amount of exposure. Yes, I will jump in. And then in he comes. So, like, he's the big celebrity guest. But when he gets in the building, Owens says, like, look, he's delusional, man. He's crazy. But Logan's kind of like, well, no, he's done all this nice stuff for me. Maybe Owens, they're feuding. Maybe they don't like each other. Maybe it's just he's trying to mess with me a bit. But then he gets out there. And as he's walking down the ramp, he's seeing Sammy doing the dancing, like a stock animation from Vice City. And then it sort of gets more and more delusional as it goes on. And then by the time the trailer rolls, Logan is like just staring at him, and he doesn't know what to do. But Owens, because Logan didn't listen to him, is like, I'm going to stun you at Mania.
But Logan had watched all these trailers before we got to SmackDown. He's been going back and forth with Sammy on Twitter. I've been keeping up.
I think it's more that he finally saw the whole package together. He saw, Sammy being delusional in front of him. Sammy even got a little bit, not aggressive toward him, but he got a little bit sort of angry, didn't he, when he brought up Owens? And then, Sammy sort of remembers himself and that, this is a celebrity and he can probably hit me pretty hard. So, sorry. And it all kind of, it's going to end in some weird situation with Paul still helping Owens but getting stunned or something.
Wow, you guys really went all out for a bit where we've got this YouTuber in because we hope he's going to bring in people.
Itself.
You really analysed it.
Hey, is it WrestleMania, Maffew? He's going to play a part in this match somehow. I'm trying to work out whose side he's on.
But the trailer itself was the best part of this entire segment. I mean, other than the dancing, just with the from the amazing mind of Sami Zayn, executively produced by Sami Zayn, and just all that over and over again, and then the flat Earth mention, and it's just so good, so good.
Yeah. See, I'm all right with YouTubers showing up and trying to get some of that mainstream popularity that we love so much, because it does mean either KSI is going to show up and lamp him, is open, or we'll have other YouTubers show up. We'll have the likes of Wang make a guest appearance with Kevin Owens try to explain the old "You're the man now" dog meme to people as people go, great, cool, cheers, pal. Can you have people watch the show or not? And yeah, I think this opens up the invisible door for so many people to come waltzing in. Maybe Marble Man will show up, Sam.
Maybe Gordon Shumway 42 will emerge before the next Mania, and that'll be it.
Yeah. Moving on to important things like Bianca Belair defeating Carmella. And it just says here, looked at Sasha Banks and pointed at the sign really unnaturally. Like the rest of the roster then. Fantastic. Well done, Bianca.
It was more, I guess, supposed to be, just wait till Mania. But it was kind of, it was odd. It was odd.
Sasha stands at ringside. I'm going to sneeze you.
And she sneezed right in her face.
Just grabbed her.
Vince McMahon went, she's
Wiped
fired.
Off.
She's fired. Get her out here.
Clean that ring now.
It was just weird how Sasha Banks sort of stood on the floor, Maffew, and then Bianca Belair was like, "What? I am the one and only."
Yeah, like that. Yeah, they do it every year. I forgot about it. Even not the Fiend, but Alexa Bliss did it on behalf of the Fiend. It's like, oh, okay, even the spooky undead people are doing it now, right?
Yeah, you were branded, man. Branded. We need that picture, don't we? We need that picture, and that's all that matters. Even if you're undead and melted and you're wearing barbecued clothes.
It reminds me of that. I think we spoke about a couple of weeks ago when Triple H was like, "We don't ask them to point at the sign."
What? We don't ask them to point at the sign. It's just a force of habit.
I think he was actually speaking about at the end of the Rumbles where, everyone stands on the turnbuckle and goes, "Whoa!" And then pyro happens around the WrestleMania sign that they point out. Look, apparently they don't ask them to point at the WrestleMania sign.
I can buy that. I can buy that a little bit more because, at one point in time, they will have told people to do that, but then it became the thing. It's like winning the Super Bowl. What are you doing next? I'm going to Disney World. It's just the same thing. So they don't even need to tell people anymore. They just know. Point at the bloody sign, and that's it. Because could you imagine winning the Rumble and then not? You'd get rinsed if you didn't point at the sign after winning the Rumble, I think.
I would moon the sign, mate. Get on the top turnbuckle and get me arse out. Take that WrestleMania sign.
Just give it a little slap.
I'll wait for Walter to win the Rumble, and he's like, he's going to point. He's like, wait, where's he pointing at? And he's like pointing, a taxi shows up. Airport, please.
I'd love it if Walter, if you ever won the Rumble, just got a ladder out, just a massive comedy ladder, just scaled it and just chopped the WrestleMania sign down.
It. Oh, God, yeah.
So I think of you. Monday Night Raw.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Hey. Hey, this was so bad. It was unbelievable. That it even made me think it was on purpose how bad it was, just to get... Was it WrestleMania 31 where it had the awful build, and then 31 turned out to be a pretty good WrestleMania? It got me thinking, this Raw... Because you cannot just think this was good and then put it out there as the go-home show for WrestleMania. They were deliberately dampering expectations, I think, by putting on a terrible show. Was it Matt Riddle's match aside? I think that was it. Sorry, Riddle's match aside. The rest of it was bloody awful. And Drew's promo as well. But aside from that, those two things, that was it. It was awful.
Well, I think you saved us 5 minutes there, to be honest with you.
We don't have to talk about it if you want.
Well, I'll do it just because I think people want us to. But yeah, I'll just do it skim. But I think you're right. This was the kickoff show to the kickoff show for WrestleMania, because it's a reminder of all the feuds. They recapped everything. So it wasn't essential viewing. Drew McIntyre engaged in a war of words with Bobby Lashley en route to WrestleMania. Xavier Woods defeated AJ Styles. Braun Strowman defeated Elias and Jackson Riker, getting ready for that cage match that Shane McMahon seems really thrilled about, like he's doing a cameo. Women's tag team champs, Nia Jackson. I'm already skipping that. Bobby Lashley defeated Cedric Alexander. Oh, no, wait, I'll actually go back to the women's tag team match, because Rhea Ripley... There's one bit I liked. Oh, can you believe it? The two people having a match at WrestleMania, teaming up to blah, blah, blah.
How will they coexist?
Yeah, but thankfully they didn't do the bit where we've seen at least twice in the last few weeks where it's like, oh no, the bad guy ducked and the other one hit the good. No, Rhea Ripley just went, sod it, and attacked Asuka. Unprompted. So I'm like, okay, good. Thank you for going against the cliche. And then Bobby Lashley defeated Cedric Alexander. The Hurt Business are officially dead. There's no Hurt Business. So because the Hurt Business are not allowed to be at ringside at WrestleMania.
No, Maffew, no. I watched it back, and the commentary say Benjamin and Alexander are banned from ringside. So that if they're going to go to that, people better not go back and watch that handicap match, because, I went back and watched it, and commentary big up the fact it's Cedric Alexander and Shelton that are banned. And anyway, the Hurt Business is still alive. It's just MVP and Lashley. That's what MVP
That's what I'm
says.
saying. Okay. Well, fair enough then.
It's
The Miz and Morrison's humiliating attack on Bad Bunny led to a WrestleMania upgrade. It's now a tag match. Fair enough. Did you see Bad Bunny complaining about having a $3 million car and how it's ruined his life? Because he's the only person with it, so it's hard for him to be incognito when the only owner of the $3 million car in existence shows up. Oh, I wonder who this could be. Is it Jim from around the corner? No, it's Bad Bunny. And also because of how much money you had to pay to import it over to where he lives.
This is the thing. I really want a Nissan Skyline eventually one day. It's going to cost an arm and a leg, like a classic one, get it imported. But if you're paying $3 million for a car, surely that's a car you'd use on a track, not a car you drive around.
This is the thing. I don't understand why anybody has anything like that to do as their everyday driver. The speed limit is the same for everybody.
What you
might as well have a Ford Focus. I've got a Ford Focus, me. It's bloody lovely. Got air conditioning. It hasn't got a CD player because you plug your phone in these days, which I didn't realise, but it's a lovely motor, and you don't need anything more flamboyant than that. These people with their Ferraris and stuff, I'm still going 70 miles an hour just like you are, and I'm doing it more economically. We 1 litre.
A deeper appreciation for the engineering of the car designers, I guess. But at the same time, it's just a massive status symbol. And if you're going to pay $3 million for a car and drive it everywhere, then Christ, I don't want to know what the depreciation on that is. Because as I was going to say, speed bump, you're going to have to sit there with hydraulics waiting for the nose to go. And then and then up and over, and then gently lower it again so you can drive off.
I mean, obviously they were never going to actually damage the $3.6 million car on this week's Raw. So I looked at parts. It was actually for a Veyron. I don't think I was a Veyron. It was a Bugatti something or other. I just know the Veyron from Top Gear back in the day when he used to fly it against the jet and whatnot. But a set of tyres for a Veyron are like $26,000 or something like that.
It ain't cheap. And you need like wide profile, like thin racing tyres, like... It starts to mount up, and of course with the cars themselves, if you're taking it to a track, you're going to get through sets of tires like nothing.
I just loved it when they were like, because obviously they put the very clearly water-based paint on there, which would have wiped off with a sleeve, and it's gone. Which obviously they're going to do because it's a very expensive car. But then they had Bad Bunny ready to throw him at the car, and then they went, we'll throw it at the car next door. I just thought it was a lovely little touch.
I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't just vinyl wrap it for the segment so they could pour like really thick paint over it or something. Because you can just get people out to wrap it and do like the whole front end and be like, right, just throw a massive bucket of really horrible paint on it or oil or something. And then it's just a case of clean it off and then lift all that layer off.
I reckon if Bad Bunny really respected this business, right? I reckon if he really respected professional wrestling, he would have allowed WWE to pour cement on the inside of that car.
Oh.
I think it's a slap in the face to every single person associated with the World Wrestling Federation.
Do you think Bad Bunny's got heat with Austin now because of that?
Big time.
Oh,
especially Vince McMahon.
It's all going to pop off at Mania, isn't it?
Vince McMahon sacrificed
Jericho will
his
come
car.
out.
I like the fact that they watered down the paint because it clearly means that Miz and Morrison are the baby faces and they are Warhammer fans. You know what? I wouldn't have made that joke if Sam wasn't here because thank you.
It would have just been met with just Warhammer.
Let me just pat myself in the back there and move on. There is a lot of paint in wrestling at the minute. So Braun Strowman got covered in green paint by Shane McMahon. Bad Bunny's car now been doused. And they did a big block of blue paint and the Don't Call Them the Nightmare family. Am I missing something? Is Art Attack coming back?
Oh, imagine if Neil Buchanan rocked up the WWE.
We have mentioned him a few times, Ross. You know how influential we are.
I know, yeah. Imagine who would he play out of the ring? His heavy metal band Marseille. Just imagine that at WrestleMania. And now to play Roman Reigns down to the ring, Art Attack's Neil Buchanan and Marseille.
Dexter Loomis, but it'd have to be a really, really heavy version of the Art Attack theme. It's like and it'd just work. And then he's just doing a caricature of Loomis doing a caricature, and then actually when the camera pans out, he's deconstructed the bloody ring, hasn't he? And he's turned into a giant face, and it's supposed to look a bit like Dexter Loomis, and it kind of does, but it's Art Attack, yeah.
Imagine mapping out one of those things he would make on the ground, though. Do you remember those back in the day when the camera would be way up high and he would put all the things down on the floor? What a pain in the arse that must have been.
Yeah, there must have been like certain like floors that he was able to mark stuff out on, but like when he was doing it on grass, and it's just like long grass and stuff, I don't understand how he did it.
Now there's a man who respects professional wrestling.
Neil Buchanan.
Neil Buchanan.
Get him in the Hall of Fame.
Their Hall of Fame. I think he must be out by now, surely.
I would have thought so.
Anyway.
Surely, yeah.
If not for what does everybody want? Hello, it's me, the head. And then Drew McIntyre defeated King Corbin. Right, that's enough of that.
The Unstoppable Force, King Corbin, Maffew. Drew McIntyre's WrestleMania status was seriously in threat because of King Corbin, didn't you know?
He's a SmackDown wrestler. What's going on?
The brand extension didn't count this week because all the women's tag teams from SmackDown were on Raw, and all the SmackDown Raw ones will be on SmackDown this week as well. It's
fine. Move on. Hall of Fame, any other thoughts on that? I think we've already covered that. I was going to say something nice about Titus O'Neil. Because we've been watching wrestling so long, remember when Titus O'Neil was, he fell over at NXT. He fell over at Saudi Arabia as well. He's always fallen over. Forgetting the fact that when he's being him, he's actually very good talking, and he does a hell of a lot for charity, and now he's getting the honorary thing in the Hall of Fame. And I saw somebody, I believe it was Seahawk on Twitter, go, why don't we rename it the Titus O'Neil Award? What did Warrior do to help people for charity? Nothing.
Yeah.
Titus O'Neil's done 100 times what Warrior's done.
I said that on the Cultaholic Wrestling News as well, Matthew. I'm shocked you didn't watch that video with me and Jack the Jobber a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, silly me.
Yeah.
Seahawks did in your stuff.
And obviously. Because what Warrior wanted was a very different thing to what WWE present, isn't it, today? So I think... Titus is a better embodiment of what...
Yeah, it's kind of come back to what Warrior originally wanted, I guess, in terms of it being somebody who's more on the backstage side of things and in their personal life doing positive things.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Warrior wanted it like, the camera dude or whatever, or the unnamed technician never gets any stuff. It's like, all right, that's nice, but instead they change it to, oh no, the poor sick kid award. And Warrior's like, no, I hate sick kids. There's all these stories about me not wanting to hang out with them. So, couldn't have been a nicer guy. AEW Dynamite. Should we do that one first? Yeah, we always do that one first, because I watched NXT first this time. Adam Page defeated Max Caster in a solid match. Not much else to say there.
Rick Knox has got a fantastic knack of not looking the right way when he's got no reason to be not looking the right way. Did that make sense?
Explain.
When Hangman Page got grabbed by Bowens on the outside, Rick Knox had no reason at all not to be looking at Hangman Page, but somehow he wasn't looking at Hangman Page, therefore he missed the thing. I think Rick Knox is a fantastic referee. It's just like the sub-teacher at school. When he's in the match, all bets are off. It's incredible.
You know what? I didn't notice that, which I think is the best compliment you can give a referee. Because I think it was like Hebner or someone says, if you notice what a referee's doing, then not doing it right. So but the fact that you noticed it because you got such good eyesight, Ross.
I keep a good eye on Rick Knox, me, because that's one thing AEW's told me so far is that Rick Knox is partially blind, if not fully blind.
Like a good referee should be.
A pocket full of change, and he just drops it one. And he's just running.
He was just looking at Max Caster like, "Oh, you're so beautiful, you." While Hangman Page is getting attacked by the man on the outside. It was a good, solid match though. They always are though, because who was I listening to this week who said that the opening match to Dynamite is like the most important match on the card for Dynamite these days. Because obviously Raw always starts off with a 25-minute promo, but AEW start off with a big match, and that's where all the focus is. Get the night off on the right tone and all that stuff. And that one lived up to it, I thought.
But then Death Triangle and Best Friends set up something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of called back to Death Triangle attacking Cassidy, right, over the last year. And now, like, Pac was right in the way he was like, you just want a shot at the next champions. But it's almost like a feud of their own horribleness. It's their own fault that this is going to happen, is essentially what Best Friends were trying to convey.
It's going to be interesting, though, because they're not getting those tag team titles after what happened at the end of the show, are they? Surely even Maffew would accept that. I've accepted it, because I'm from Newcastle as well. Yeah.
Don't say that, Ross.
No.
But I just want someone to clip where Sam said Pac was right and just play that every week. And then Jericho promo. Serious Jericho promo. Not seen this lad in a while.
Good.
Someone said Jericho sounded different, possibly sober. Because he went off on one here. God, he reeled them off. Non-stop insults from Jericho. A lot of them very good. I did like, possibly all the best, the Sean Spears, my personal favourite. Sean Spears, I get told he's got a great upside. I haven't seen it, which is already brutal in itself. All I remember seeing was his name on my phone when he was ringing after he got released by the Fed, asking me for help. Yeah, nice hair, mate. I mean, and then it just carried on and on and on and on.
Could you explain to me the Wardlow line? Not the one where he could...
What?
The one he messed up, or...
No, I didn't
So
get
you've
it.
got to strip off to count to 21, so you've got 10
that,
fingers, 10 toes.
Yeah. For people who didn't see it,
What else?
Wardlow, he said Wardlow, he meant to say it the way around, but he's got a $1 million brain and a 13-cent body, which is not the way around, means he has to,
I thought he did that on
take off all
purpose,
his
mate.
clothes and strip naked to count to 21. Think about it. We got, get your hands out, count them, count your toes, count everything you got.
I've never
You got
heard that one
21.
before. Yeah.
I got 22. So.
Yeah, I've never heard that one before. It's a good line, that, though. I'll take that forward in my life.
Yeah, he went off it. And Jericho being a good guy means that we get to sing Judas as the crowd, and it's all right. Makes sense.
So it was good as well, because on the fight version, obviously, we get to see what happens during commercial breaks. And obviously, he comes out for the promo just before a commercial break. We cut the commercial break, and during the break, he says, "Fans, could you please start doing that chant again when we come back on the air, because we're the good guys now. Please cheer us, please." Yeah. And then they come back, and it's deafening. It worked, to be fair, but it's just funny that he had to ask.
Yeah, he's a big ham, though, Jericho. It fits him. Now he's a babyface ham. I'm going to like babyface ham. Sorry, stop saying ham. Taz tries to recruit Christian Cage. Cage says he'll think about it, or whatever.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he just kind of awkwardly goes, yeah.
Mountain of charisma.
Taz said to him, "I've got a group of men who can get you to where you want to be," and that's just a lie, isn't it? That's just a lie. It's just a lie.
You talking
Matthew.
ill of Hook?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Hook who stand. Wait, it's Hook's not the issue. It's the rest of the lads. Just stand there. Why, we'll get you soon.
Tell you what, they had momentum until Sting showed up. We'll cut to him now. Sting gets interrupted because he comes out and they do their "Hey, remember '98" promo, and he does the same thing that he did with Lance Archer as he did with Team Taz. And Archie comes out, Jake Roberts is like, metaphors, similes, Halloween Havoc, 92, sorry. And then Archie comes out and goes, you know what, Sting, you got a good point. Maybe my manager is holding me back. Maybe I should turn on him. So is this Sting's thing? He's the new Sean O'Hare and just gets in the heads of people and go, don't listen to your manager, don't listen to your manager.
Do we reckon Tony Schiavone shot on AEW? Because he started off that little introduction thing going, this never gets old. It's Sting! Followed by an interview segment where Sting gets interrupted, which happens every time.
Yeah.
Tony shoots on AEW live on the air, maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe just really enjoys it, which, to be fair, all the best to him if he does.
Just a big Sting fan.
I am too, but I think it's getting old.
Yeah. You could say, Tony Schiavone gets a microphone, it's Stink! So, God. Jurassic Express took on Bear Country, notable for the commentators losing their minds during some of the spots, and Jim Ross insisting he's a big fan of Godzilla versus King Kong.
I mean, who isn't?
I mean, yeah, come on.
Who is?
Jim Ross hadn't heard about it.
JR.
He went, are they showing the old one? That's nice. We're back. Oh, all right. He's like there telling all the facts that have been proven incorrect over the years. Do you know in the Japanese cut, Godzilla win? No, Jim, no, that's not true. I know, I'm good. I'm as good as you are, mate. I thought it was real.
This was a good match, though. The bigger bear was very impressive.
Mama Bear.
Was that
Papa
Boulder?
Bear. Yeah, Boulder. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the one.
Boulder.
He was very impressive.
Yeah. But surely they are missing something. Imagine having a bear stable and there's only 2 of you. You need 3 bears, man.
Marco Stunt in a bear costume.
Yeah. Oh, no. Black and Book selector.
Oh, no. There was a quote. What was he? He had the Kong tattoo because what was the quote he said last week? He had the Kong tattoo because it was some sort of he remembers to get that ass or something like that.
Yeah.
So just like Bear off Boa Selector, you could have the little stiffy gimmick for Marco Stunt.
Yeah,
he used to
except
get that
that.
ass.
Oh, except that Jack already trademarked on a bus years ago. Yeah, brought that back. Keith, it just says QT shoots on Cody, and then it says woo on the notes. It's a fantastic notes, by the way, Ross.
Thank you very much. It was a very good promo, but I had a big issue with it. You cannot have QT
Really?
Marshall. You can't have QT Marshall, Sam, after everything we've seen so far on AEW, with one good promo calling other wrestlers vanilla. I couldn't stand by that line there from QT.
My only thing with this whole situation is that I firmly believe that whoever would be the person who, went after Cody for, all of the perceived, big-headedness and all of that stuff, they would eventually go on that sort of semi-Steve Austin line, wouldn't they? It's sort of rebelling against the boss and going in that direction. But I don't know if it's going to be quite as impactful as if we'd let Cody get away with making grand entrances for 3 years and it just building and building and building and then eventually that happening. But yeah, it was a great promo though. It was a great promo.
It was a good promo. Just you can't have QT Marshall calling other people vanilla at this stage. Come on.
That's how I know he's a bad guy.
I know that though. But I still want my bad guys to make sense when they're having to go to other people. Otherwise, they just look stupid, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you got me there. TNT title match: Darby Allin versus JD Drake. Oh,
I
JD Drake.
enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this, and I liked there was a moment that Drake grabbed Darby on the outside and hurled him into the ring ropes, just lifted him, hurled him up, and then Darby bounced back and then just bang right hook. And it was I don't know why. I had to just keep rewatching that bit. I was like, that was genius. That was so good. I loved it.
Yeah. And then it kept it up with the Bunny taking on Tay Conti. With Tay Conti having a hell of a streak at the minute.
She's good, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember where I'd read it. It was, I think somebody tweeted it. It'll be somebody much more important. But it was imagine having Ty Conti on your roster as Triple H and then seeing, how quickly she's developed in AEW and having let her go. And it's man, yeah, it's at least she's flourishing now, and that's the important thing. And she got kind of helped by Shida toward the end, obviously, as well with the kendo stick situation. So
I assume she mustn't have put her left foot forward. Have we all seen that clip from back in the day? Put your left foot forward. That's one of my favourite things. Remember they used to film the performance centre and everyone doing the drills and the tryouts and stuff. You have to do a forward roll, stand up and put your left foot forward. And people weren't doing it, and just William Regal just getting angrier and angrier. And now he's like, am I speaking a foreign language? Put your left foot forward. 'Cause that's what you have to do in the wrestling, apparently, which is weird.
Well,
Roll,
you
stand
lead
up.
in like a direction. I think there's like some people go left, some people go right, but I think different parts of the world lock up with the different. You sort of lean in with the left or you lean in with the right. But yeah, I think it's like a natural, so that when everybody's facing each other, everybody's working to the same direction.
I know.
Having the exact same match. Whoops, sorry. And then we have Mike Tyson making the save for Jericho, and someone broke this down for me. Months ago, Jericho, heel, feuded with Tyson, face. Tyson disappeared for a year to get ready for Jones Jr. Jericho then teamed with MJF, heel. As part of the Inner Circle, heel. Jericho kicked MJF out of the group, which turned MJF face. But MJF fought back and had his friends help him against Inner Circle, which means MJF is now heel, and this somehow turns Jericho face. Tyson returns and is now aligned with Jericho because...
Reasons.
Respectba.
Yes. Fantastic. I think I analysed this how you analysed the Logan Paul segment, so fair enough. I'm a giant hypocrite.
I saw this clip shared on the Sky Sports Facebook page.
Really?
And the comments are astonishing.
I bet.
This is so pathetic. How does what? I can't believe Mike Tyson has stooped to this. Do they not know it's fit? Oh, it's just incredible. All look like Alan Brazil as well.
Yeah, I did enjoy this segment though, with the locker room door getting locked and bolted shut, and them having to break it down with a bat, and then a chair just got launched, like a stool just got launched through it and almost hit the cameraman. It just really sold that attention to detail. Like it was just so much had been put into the idea, and then eventually, obviously, Tyson pops up and Spears gets leathered, but it was great.
Yeah, I've no idea why Tyson's still here. Like, he had all the momentum last year because everyone was like, he's coming out of retirement, and he actually did, by God.
Network
the best boxing match of last year, thanks to Snoop Dogg commentary. And now it's like, Tyson's here. You're like, and? What are you selling?
Weed.
He's bringing people in, isn't he? Anybody that might be curious as to see why Mike Tyson might be on a wrestling show.
You're right. Look, all those Sky Sports fans. And yes, then the main bit, Moxley and the Young Bucks taking on Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. Young Bucks had to make a hard decision, and they reluctantly did it. They super kicked with emotion Jon Moxley and turned and joined Omega and the Good Brothers. What did you think, Sam?
It was not quite as definitive. Like, I'm not quite sure if they are fully aligned, but because it was like weird, because they obviously held up Moxley, the Good Brothers, and they were like, kick him again, and they did it. But then as they all embrace and are about to embrace, Kenny tries to get them to too sweet him, and they're like, and then we kind of go off the air just after that. But it was on the cards, of course, because Matt was just having such difficulty throughout the match, in particular with attacking Kenny, to the point where Moxley has to get in, and then once Moxley got in and shoved him back, it was like, oh God, here we go. But yeah. I can get on board with it a bit, I think.
I enjoyed how Nick Jackson, in mere minutes, went from wanting to behead Kenny Omega to, come here, Kenny, give us a cuddle, will you?
That was the thing as well. Like, he was the first guy to kick Moxley, I think, Nick. And it was like and he was the one who was, going, no, we've got to attack Kenny. We've got to attack Kenny. And it was Matt who was having the big emotional drama initially, but then it's Nick is the first one to kick Moxley. Like, am I reading too much into it? Is it going to be revealed that it was all planned? I think
people have been saying they had no issue hoofing Omega in the head back at Revolution, like last year, or was it the year before? Last year. I've lost all concept of time here.
Yeah,
last
good
year.
question, Ross. I think it was last year.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, it was last year, yeah.
When the tag team titles on the line, which is quite an interesting thing, because the Young Bucks and the titles on the line can be dicks until the cows come home. When there's no titles on the line, they're a lot more easily manipulated, so to speak. So I don't know what to make of this. It didn't do anything for me, to be honest with you. I don't like the Young Bucks, so I guess they're heels now, and that's a good thing. But that's about it.
Yeah. I like Sam going, we'll go get Kenny. Also, what Triple H was heard saying when he heard that Undertaker was trying to tour with Inside the Ropes. But never forget. You dead get. So, yeah, with this, I was in a miserable mood yesterday. And I tweeted, I can't be bothered with this. And I think I'll explain a bit more because I had lots of people. Because if people agree with you, they'll agree with you. And if people disagree with you, they'll let you know that they disagree with you and that you're a horrible person. So I'm sorry. It wasn't my intention to ruin anybody's day. But, you know, there's some wrestlers that you like because you follow their careers and you're into them because of them as the personalities or they have the microphone skills, you're into them. I wasn't one of these people who was a super New Japan fan from years ago. So as far as I'm concerned with Young Bucks and Omega, you know, they're good action-wise, but in terms of promo, it's just like there's a wall here. And it's not helped by, Omega's right now is playing, I'm Professor Omega. It's like, all right, you're supposed to be a bad guy. They call me the cleaner because I clean up at the Wrestling Observer Awards every year. Yeah, and all that stuff, that's fair enough. But the Young Bucks come out every week, we said many times in this podcast, and like, don't forget, we changed wrestling. We invented tag wrestling. We're the greatest tag team ever. I'm like,
money.
We have so much money, Omega. We're so rich and profitable. Our dicks are enormous. I'm like, wow, I can relate to so much to talk about here. God, just a common man. So, okay, so I'm not really into that. And now we have more of this feud. And it's, will they, won't they, will they? And I'm just not into it. They're not doing anything wrong. If you want these people who are into them, fantastic. More power to you. I'm sure if they had wrestlers or people that I was into or really cared about, like the Sami Zayns or the Kevin Owenses, people whose career have followed, or the Grados, or the Super Dragons were making appearances, I'd be the same. But at the minute now, this is, it's like watching two Piers Morgans trying to get us to care about us, so I'm just going to skip them and be positive.
What we need, though, is if they've got this relationship with New Japan, because I'm with you, Maffew, I wasn't big on New Japan back in the day, we need all of the gaps filled in. We need to be shown how good friends the Young Bucks were with the Good Brothers and Omega and all that stuff, and like show why this means something, because it's obviously a very simple story to tell. Oh, they used to be friends, now they went against each other, now they're back together and all this stuff. But show us if you've got that. But if they can't do that, of course. But if they can't, they can't. But gaps need to be filled.
Not easier to just be like, look, they were Bullet Club in Japan, they were a big deal, they won all these belts. Because if they start going in with, here's all of the stuff, then they're kind of going to have to lean into that and lean into another company's booking with it. Although, they are just the Bullet Club back together. So, I might be reading too much into it.
Yeah, and maybe I am too. Maybe I should just relax and calm down and have a Snickers or something. But you know what? So, AEW Dynamite is still good. Just, need to skip because there's only so many hours in a day. When there's NXT Takeover, Stand and Deliver Night 1 at the same time. So, Zoe Stark defeated Toni Storm. What? Oh, that was the pre-show, yes.
Yeah.
Zoe Stark beat Toni Storm.
Yeah.
Dude, there was a time when Toni Storm wouldn't lose to anybody. It's so weird seeing her lose.
God. What, is that in like she would like just hug and everybody? Or like...
She was just too good. There's nobody on her left. She was the Volta. Okay,
Zoe Stark was very impressive though, because that might be my first like full match I've seen of Zoe Stark. So it was very, very good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the match.
That was
not
good.
Not much else to add there.
I just was like, all right, yeah, Zoe Stark's gonna get a little bit of shine in, and then just like, oh, she pinned her, like rubbing my eyes and all that, like a Tom and Jerry cartoon. Pete Dunne defeated Kushida. Nice 10-minute match here. That was slightly abrupt because they were talking about who's the best technical wrestler, but it didn't outstay its welcome, which I always criticize NXT for. So, hey, fair play.
Yeah, lots of transitions and whatnot, showing a lot of technical prowess. And I thought Pete Dunne had to win because he was the one who laid down the challenge, and you can't be looking silly like that now, can you, buddy lad? So I'm happy that he did win. But was short, yeah. But again, it was 2 hours, wasn't it? The first night.
It was sweet.
Bloody hell.
Oh. Bronson Reed defeated Isaiah Swerve Scott, Cameron Grimes, LA Knight, Dexter Lumis, and Leon Ruff to win the qualifying contender match to then take on Gargano the next night. I think this was a big, fat, good, greasy BLT with a dripping of a match. Could have said that better, but I stand by my point. If this was a sandwich, Sam, which sandwich would it be?
I think you've summed it up perfectly. It'd just be a big fat, drippy boy. There you go.
Would it have crisps in, though? We've got to bring the Subway discussion into this. Have you seen this week?
Whoa, go on.
You can now pay a whole 20 pence to have ready salted crisps as a filling in your Subway.
Right, hang on. Nah. Okay, like I get, crisp sandwiches are occasionally delicious. But when you're paying 50 pence for a handful of what's essentially going to be bottom barrel crisps at the end of the day.
20 pence.
20 pence, sorry, for bottom barrel crisps. I mean, I get putting like crushed up tortillas in sandwiches. like Dorito style boys. But from Subway, ready salted. What am I gonna like if I go over there today to the one just near the office and I'm like, yeah, can I have a foot long ready salted on Italian herbs and cheese? What are they gonna do? Are they going to sell me that? Are they going to sell? I don't know why it's making me so angry.
I don't know if you have to have meats in there and like the crisps is part of the salad bar.
Yeah, can I have a salad, please? Yeah, what would you like? Ready salted crisps.
Yeah, is that it?
That's it.
I want more vegan options. More vegan options, please. Fantastic. Here's crisps. Oh, thanks, Subway. Cheers. I don't know what to say because I know there's going to be people going, get in, but if I'm paying for food outside, I sure as hell don't be paying for a crisp sandwich. Like it.
That's what I mean.
You may as well get a bag of crisps and then put some of them in the sandwich and enjoy the rest of the bag of crisps afterwards.
But I was assuming this was like either you're really poor or you're really lazy or hungover and go, crisp sandwich, all right. But the idea of going out and ordering one is like, no.
Again, I just assume it's got to be part of the salad bar because crisps are salad, aren't they?
Salad bar.
You know, the bit
You're
before
probably right.
The bit before the Southwest sauce. But if this was the Weatherspoons burger with the double option added in, I thought, in terms of a wrestling match. Going back to the wrestling lads on this wrestling podcast, I thought Bronson Reed was fantastic.
Ross. What?
The gourmet burger, the one that arrives like this.
The beer and the burger at Weatherspoons, but you put the double in for an extra £1. That's
and you get like 95 onion rings, like the Tower of Babel, just building up.
You always have to get like,
Babel. All the things.
No idea what that is. Is that an anime thing?
No.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah, kind of. It's a biblical thing.
Oh.
On that note.
Yeah, that threw me off. Sorry. Volta defeated Ciampa in a match that I'll leave the food analogies alone, but a rare steak.
It was 20 chicken nuggets. That's what that was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll take that as well.
What we speak about now?
Walter versus Ciampa.
Oh, God, aye. This was fantastic, this. I think that might be my original thought for this week's Hall of Fame, was the spot where Ciampa runs the 1,500 metres and then gets chopped down. I was pissing myself with that. Yeah. It's very impressive, though, from Ciampa, who looked at least 25 years younger when he shaved his head. I didn't realise that was the story they were telling by having the sort of Home Alone 1 look with a snow shovel come in. Like, I'm this guy and then I've shaved my head and remembered who I am. I'm the psycho killer, this, that, and the other. But I guess that's a fine story to tell.
Yeah. And that's it. Went, aha. To defeat Walter, all I've got to do is avoid that one chop hand. So Walter's like, my chop hand. No. And then he's like, I'm doing really good, really good. Oh, Walter gets him once, and that's all I was needed. I love that finish so much because you can't just have Walter doing the exact same Dragunov match every time. So I'm glad they went with slightly different, and it worked really well. I did see some people get annoyed and go, he beat him with a chop. I mean, no. A Volta chop.
Yeah, and after
20
several
pence extra,
Volta
get
chops
your
as well.
crisps.
After several Volta chops as well, to be fair, there was a lot of chops in that match. But also, they buried him though, didn't they, Maffew? They buried Volta by having him chop the table and the table not fall down after Tony Storm made the table fall down with ease. Tony Storm's a lot stronger than Volta is, surely now. That's what we've deduced from that match there.
Write a formal complaint, Maffew.
I will have to.
Write a formal complaint and send it to Titan Tower. See what happens.
That table will never work in this business again. MSK defeated Grizzled Young Veterans and Legado del Fantasma. Yeah. Just a big old triple threat spot match.
NXT tag team, yeah.
3 teams. It's going, look what I can do. Flip, flip, flip. Not too long. Yep. PWG special.
Heartbreaking though, wasn't it? I thought this was Grizzled Young Vets time. Sorry, I thought this was Grizzled Young Vets time. I thought this was the one after two Dusty Cup losses. I thought this was the one. And then sort of have MSK chase them along the summer there. But no, wasn't meant to be. But you can't complain, can you? It was just a... NXT do tag teams really well, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
And Raquel Gonzalez defeated Io Shirai even after Io jumped off the skull.
It looked sore, didn't it?
Little bit. Just a little bit.
It did, yeah. And then she was like, that didn't hurt very much. Chokeslam, Finn. I'd say between her, Rhea Ripley getting called up, and the new Resident Evil game, it's a good time for big women. Anyway, I'll leave that alone. Night 2, Killian Dane and Drake Maverick defeated Breezango. Oh, is this in the pre-show?
Yeah, I didn't see the Night 2 pre-show, so I assume it was a fun match with Drake involved and Gillian involved.
Yeah, just take a guess. I'm sure it was fun. There we go. Santos Escobar defeated Jordan Devlin in a ladder match. Didn't skipped it because I'm not buying what Devlin's selling. What did you think?
You should be, in terms of wrestling, because he took a lot of amazing falls in this match. It was a spot where he did a picture-perfect Kurt Angle moonsault off the top of the ladder, which is like an unstable service and very impressive. Then he takes a fall from the center of the ring off the top of the ladder over the top rope into the floor. He was doing all kinds of impressive falls, but it was just a proper spot festy NXT ladder match. But instead of having 6 men involved or whatever, as is tradition, I guess, there was just 2 involved. They
were competing for a dancing Shawn Michaels at the top, right? That's what I got from the build.
It was just a lot of destruction, really. It was. I didn't really know what to expect going into it, but I think it delivered in that sense that it was just a bit crazy.
Good times. And Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart defeated The Way.
Oh yeah. The Shotzi and Ember's entrance here was fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
So was Shotzi's entrance into the barricade.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
God.
Oh,
That's how you know
God.
it's a takeover. When Shotzi puts that magnet into the back of her head and it goes to the floor, because she always finds a way of landing directly on it, bless her. So yeah, apparently she was all right though.
Yeah.
Reports I've read. Just made that up, but she's unbreakable, so it's all right. It was a fine match. Gargano defeated Bronson Reed. Go on, Ross.
This was, Maffew, what's it called at McDonald's where you get the 2 Big Macs in one? What's the official title? There's 2 Big Macs in one.
That doesn't sound like anything official.
No, it does,
Do you just get 2 Big Macs and put them together?
No, I might look like I do, but I don't know.
Is it
It's an
one of
official
these
thing they sell.
secret-
Is it
Oh.
Big Mac Deluxe or something? I don't know
The
what it's
Grand
called.
Big Mac.
Grand
Have a
Big
look.
Mac, that's the one.
Yeah.
This was that, but Bronson Reed being just everything. Maybe Johnny Gargano was the pickle or the gherkin, whatever the hell's inside a Big Mac. I don't like Big Macs, me. McChicken sandwich man guy if I have to get one.
I found
Got
it
Big
to
Mac,
be it was just a bit of a meat slappy fest. It was for me, like I enjoy Bronson Reed, just the agility he has, and Gargano worked well against him in that respect, I think.
I guess the Jim Cornettes of the world will be moaning because Bronson Reed was taking reverse Ranas and stuff like that, and a guy of his size shouldn't be doing that.
Well, wrestling changes, doesn't it?
Yeah, I thought, just a good match, wasn't it? Gargano is a good wrestler, but again, Maffew, we're allowed to say this without anyone rolling their eyes because Jack's not here, but I just didn't care because it's a Gargano match. I was shocked that he won as well. I was really shocked that he won, but it was a good match.
Sounds about right.
Sam's a big Johnny Gargano fan as well.
I enjoy Gargano. I'll not go off on you or anything. I just find it was a little odd for me that Reed, after going through everything he went through to get there, it sort of fell at that hurdle. But at the same time, it's understandable because it is Johnny Gargano. So,
and it was an impressive spot that got them there with the moonsault.
yeah.
Sorry, I mean, we all like each other despite our faults. Gable Stevenson appeared.
Stevenson.
Oh, I thought it was a typo. My apologies. Gable Stevenson. It's got the red squiggly line underneath it. Appears. Who's this again, Ross?
This is the most recent guest on Cultaholic Wrestling Straight to Hell, which has just gone live right now as we're sat here on the podcast. So it's live on the channel right now. A fantastic man. Gonna be. People call him the next Brock Lesnar, and that's all you need to know. He's off to the Olympics. Sure, he'll get a gold medal, and then after that's done, I'm sure he'll be in NXT. So, Stephanie Man was there, sort of clapping in his face. That was unnerving. So, since he survived that, I'm sure he can survive anything. But he's a very charismatic guy, and obviously, we don't have the amateur wrestling so much at the forefront of everything here in the UK. But having watched a couple of highlight packages before doing that Straight to Hell, he can do a lot of things. Bloody hell! That's all. That's my amateur wrestling analysis there.
Karrion Kross defeated Finn Balor to win the NXT title.
Love this match, me.
Yeah, I like Karrion Kross because he's different to the rest of the stuff you see on NXT. I see a lot of people not liking him because he doesn't do what the rest of the roster does on NXT. I'm like, I like variety, mate. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like up to the standards of the Finn Balor matches he's had with Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne, but still, could have something different. But would this mean that Finn Balor's going to go back up to main event land?
I saw people saying that this week.
Yeah.
At work, because apparently Balor was only meant to be in NXT for 6 months when they first moved to 2 hours on a Wednesday, but I don't know. It sort of hasn't worked out once, so what's to say it would be any different, I guess? I don't know. It's weird.
No. I mean, Raw could do with the headliners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like this match. I like the way it started off with a couple of big strapping lads going hee hee, I'm better than you and harder than you, and being quite seductive and quite smarmy about it all in the process. And it just turned into a sort of gritty sort of fight, which again, Maffew, I'm with you. I like a bit of variety in me wrestling. I don't like seeing the same match with different people involved multiple times a night, and I enjoyed the way this was different and grittier. So yeah, Karrion Kross getting the win as well, getting his belt back. It was lovely.
Good times. And then the main event, Kyle O'Reilly defeated Adam Cole. What was it? I was going to say
Sanctioned.
Unscripted. I almost started doing the old Raw intro. It's uncensored, uncooked, it's Raw. No, it was 40 minutes. Unsanctioned. Kyle O'Reilly, who I think Local Soundwave said, I'll say it again, see what Sam's reaction is, now looks like the bully in a Nickelodeon show in the 90s. But that aside, 40 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, 40 minutes. They did a lot of cool, innovative spots because Adam Cole, remember, did a former CCW great. So now and again, he can do the hardcore stuff with the chairs facing that way and cracking the back and everything else. Shining Wizard and stuff into there. Lots of chain-related offense, very good. It was good. I don't like the fact that, again, you can't tell that Triple H and HBK are running NXT now when Adam Cole's like, that's right, Kyle, I'm going to explain the plot to you while you're down, blah, 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 you know. So at least he's ready for the main roster, Adam Cole. So good lad. Maybe he'll hear on Raw soon or post-WrestleMania. But what did you think, Sam?
I haven't had a chance to see this match yet. As I said, I fell asleep. So I'm going to be watching it while I'm rendering today in a couple of hours' time.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ross it is then.
I thought it was everything it was going to be. That's all I've got to say about that. I don't know what you say. It's like you've got these two lads who do their things in the way they do them, and then you get an unsanctioned match and they go through the stage and Adam Cole kicks a polystyrene wall down, and yeah, it was just good, wasn't it? It was just big, I don't want to say big silly bollocks, but big gnarly bollocks with chains and whatnot. Whips and chains excite me. It was just what it was meant to be. But I find Cole's predicament now intriguing because surely he's going to the main roster. And I've been saying for years now, Vince McMahon won't like the size of his arms. Even though we all know he's a proper main event star, Vince McMahon looks at one thing before anything else. So I don't know if Vince McMahon, maybe things have changed for Vince McMahon, but I find Adam Cole on the main roster so intriguing as a prospect, because will Vince McMahon sort of cave in to the little arms? The relatively little arms, I should say. He's still very muscular, of course, compared to you and I.
If he gets the Daniel Bryan style treatment from the fans where people just refuse to let up, I think they will have to eventually relent and you know, treat him as the star he is. But yeah, there's always that worry. Worry.
Actually, I forgot. Adam Cole has been really cool on Twitch. So I actually feel bad about it. You know what? I love the fact that he explained the feud and plot and everything. I love the fact you went 40 minutes. Exactly. What was I expecting? What else was I expecting? An NXT Takeover match between you and Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole. Good job, pal. Good job. Nothing but love here. He always likes a good raid. He's like, oh, Cultaholic, yeah. That's how he sounds.
He has no idea who we
I'm
are.
American. So, yeah. Good week for wrestling. And hey, NXT went out with a bang. They won the ratings, by the way, because it would have been very surprising and shocking if they hadn't with Takeover going against AEW Dynamite. That would have been like, okay, something's really wrong here. So can't wait to see what happens next week. But also there's that little thing called, I don't know, WrestleMania look forward to. So
yeah, what are people going to argue about now on Wednesdays?
We'll find something.
There's if the Grand Big Mac is actually two Big Macs put together, or it's just two bigger patties, as that's what it said on there.
Yeah, it's just two wider burgers.
So I couldn't even imagine trying to fit two Big Macs on top of each other in your mouth, like one of those Scooby-Doo snacks.
I know it's hard to believe, but I don't frequent McDonald's too often. I thought that's what it was. Never had one myself. Don't like them.
Don't like Big Macs?
No.
What if you did go to McDonald's? What would you order?
Oh, it's a McChicken sandwich meal. Or mate, no. Recently, I've converted to a chicken select.
They're nice.
Yeah.
If I have to go to McDonald's, but I am with Sam. My default McDonald's meal, again, doesn't happen very often, would be just 20 chicken nuggets.
Nuggets are good. I'm more of a Chicken Legend guy, but sometimes you get Chicken Legend that the meat ain't great, and it's a bit too when you bite into it, it does that like squeaky, and it's like, nope, just put it back in the box. See you later.
Yeah,
Like,
this is the made at 10 to 5 p.m. on a Friday.
It's now Sunday. It's just been sat there.
Cool. Well, on that happy muck note, here's the next segment.
Let's have a rummage in our mail bags.
Now time for a little look in the mailbag. Number 1. Hi, lovely lads. Ooh, that's us. Hope you're all well and ready for a jam-packed weekend. First-time sender, long-time listener, dating back to the name-redacted days. I work ridiculous hours, but make time to listen to the podcast without fail. Spotify even agrees because you've repeatedly been my most listened to podcast since you first started. You guys always make me laugh. I sometimes forget that I'm listening to you in public, ruining standard tube etiquette by just randomly laughing out loud or unconsciously bopping my head to the Reese's Pieces jingle. What I thought were little nods maybe have appeared as mini headbanging to bystanders. Anyway, this weekend is WrestleMania, but it's also my birthday. I've always wanted to go to WrestleMania as a birthday trip. This would have been my chance, but I'm being a responsible person. Also, Boris won't let us travel anyway. My question, is there a specific WrestleMania that you wish you were in attendance for? If so, which one and why? Apologies if this has already been a question. Thank you for all that you do. You've been a source of immense joy in so many people's lives. It's been great watching you thrive as a company. I wish you even more success in the future. All the best, Natalie from London. Thank you, Natalie. Some of your thoughts there as well.
So, are we talking we can go back to them and remove all memory of it happening? And go there and attend it as a fan without knowing what's going to happen?
I'm assuming it's we do know. That's why we're going back in time in this time machine.
Well, either way, I think I'd still choose 17. Or
You
1.
basic bitch.
Come on, like TLC 2 live? Could you imagine the atmosphere? Oh my God. But yeah, either that or 1, I'd say.
Even though the rest of the show is crap, WrestleMania X8, just to be part of Rock Hogan.
You've taken the words out my mouth, Maffew.
In terms of crazy crowd reactions at WrestleMania, I was there for the Hardy Boys in 2017, which is one of the loudest things I've ever been a part of. It was that and when they showed the replays of the Hall of Fame and everyone sung along with the sing-along of Kurt Angle going, I'm just a sexy Kurt. And then the entire stadium then did, that was awesome. But the Hardy Boys pop was unreal, so I've already done that. So, of course, Hogan Rock. Just insane power. Crowd pop, however you say it. What about yourself, Ross?
Literally took the words out my mouth. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Do you think of anything else? I'll bought you some time there by rambling.
Oh, do we need to... if I had to pick a second choice, I would go for WrestleMania 9. Just to be a part of that silly bollocks and just to see what that set was like and be a part of the day would be a great laugh, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Wrestling,
like
not
to,
so much, but, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to go there to watch the show, but it'd certainly be interesting to see what general sentiment was like inside the arenas at 2. Just kind of poke your head in and be like, are they rioting yet? Are they kicking off? Do they want refunds yet? What are they watching? What's happening?
Yeah. You want to go back in time WrestleMania 2 to watch a big screen of the other arena.
Or just 2 little tiny screens at ringside.
2 CRT monitors, the entire arena.
I don't know if it's Mania, but there's definitely been some galleries when I've been looking back, going for images and stuff, where there's just all these 25-inch big fat back tellies wheeled out like, a teacher would in the classroom in the 90s for video time. They wheel out like one of those for each side of the front row, and everybody's just kind of like trying to watch something that's happening.
Oh yeah, there are times we see like old boxing photos as well, like these giant stadiums, or like even Horndorf versus Hogan, and it's like, here's the cheap seats at the back, and you go, wow, that's amazing, but you realize, wait, that would be my view, that postage stamp, the ring, and you look around, there'll be big monitor. Oh, they didn't have big monitors back then. Be knackered, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's why my dad was really hesitant when we were younger to get wrestling tickets unless we could get really good ones, because he's like, there's no point us going to like a big event or doing anything like, any show where we're going to be in the nosebleeds and we can barely see. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I'd love to be there, but yeah, it's kind of oof.
Or do 2017 or 2018 and be at the hard camera sign and get blinded by the lights that they shone at some of the arena.
I've still got my picture on my phone of that blue light that was just right in our eyes. It was awful. At 33, because we were up in the tier. It was terrible.
We were lucky because we were a little bit lower down, but we were on, I think, slightly more of an angle than you. So we just had a big post covering a full third of the ring. So we could see each corner, and then the dead center, we had to just keep turning to the scoreboard, just having a bit of a watch and then turning back when they got on the turnbuckle and stuff.
It came up on my thing this morning. My mates tagged you in a post and stuff. It was a memory, and it was today in 2017 when you had the big countdown clock above the ring. And of course, record it, and it was like 10, 9, 8, 10, 0, 2, when it said 3 minutes. So me and my mate said, did someone say 3 minutes? It's like, everyone going, what are you doing, you idiot? I'm like, come on.
I will say, like, 33 set, every little detail of 33 set, even when it caught on fire, was amazing.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I mean, the ring above the ring, on top of the little, like, gazebo they build, with like the huge piping and all the lights, it just looked amazing. It was so cool.
Have you seen this year?
Hopefully this year. I've seen a bit of a ship, but I'm kind of hesitant. I like that big reveal. Like 34 was beautiful, that huge mask and everything, and I couldn't believe how good that looked. So fingers crossed this year's not going to disappoint, because I was not a big fan of 35 with just the IMAX.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of that.
You want more effort in, don't you? A bit more flamboyance. But I saw a high-angle picture that was taken yesterday, I think it was, and it just looks like it's just got massive, really tall LED screens. Then on top of that, there is a pirate ship that is twice as big as the actual pirate ship that's inside the stadium. It looks incredible.
I'm still crossing my fingers for Owens to load Sammy into a cannon and fire him into a giant net on the other side of the stadium.
And that's good, because if it is successful, it'll be, look amazing, he'll be safe and everything. If it goes badly, Logan Paul can film him. Hey, Maffew, Jack and Ross. Cheers for the great content over the past year. If you had to get a wrestling-themed tattoo, what would it be and why? Cheers, Charlie from Yorkshire.
Well, Sam actually has one. I forgot that Sam was on the podcast, and I put the mailbag together yesterday.
I've got Bret Hart tattooed on my left shin. Like classic Bret in the big jacket with the epaulettes and the shades and everything. Yeah, I've got Bret tattooed on me.
On the shin?
On the shin. It's
on the front?
Arse. It was front of the shin.
After it was done, that tattooist turned to you and said with tears in his eyes, it was the best tattoo he'd ever done.
It was Steph, actually. Steph tattooed Bret on
of course,
me.
right.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites, and I just, I hope that, I never have to get it removed for any reason. If not, we can maybe change it into Joey Ramone, but I was never a big Ramone fan. So I was never a fan, really, of the Ramones beyond a few songs.
Yeah, you're going to get Bruce Hart on your other shins so your shins can hate each other.
No, Bruce would have to be bigger and higher up, like a full thigh, because Bruce is that important.
That's right. What would you get, Ross?
I'll tell you what, I thought about this question seriously, and I would get the sort of the tribal print that Roman Reigns and the Usos have on their arms. I know that every sort of different print or whatever, every different pattern, I should say, means something. So I would get one of them because I think they look incredible. I wouldn't be able to get it round me pec because I haven't got one. I've just got a tit and it wouldn't look very good. But I would get it up the arm. It would look amazing.
Well, you can actually go to certain islands in Polynesia where you can get tattooed in a traditional manner, where they use shark's teeth and they hammer the ink in.
What's the it's
massive almost
thing
like
with
Japanese tabori style, where it's properly like traditional, but there's a little couple of sticks and it's sort of banged in. But they will talk to you in advance and they'll speak to you about your life and your aspirations, and then they will design something entirely unique for you based on what you want and where you want to go in life and the things you've done, and then that's put on you and that's it. It's burned afterwards. Nobody else can ever have that again. So go for it.
That's cool.
When the world opens up, I'll be there. Easy jet flight.
Easy jet to New Zealand or somewhere like that. Could you imagine?
But apparently that hurts a lot more. I know that a normal tattoo gun hurts, but apparently that whole hammer and malarkey hurts a hell of a lot more.
So it either apparently feels like taps, like somebody's literally got a Bic pen with the lid on and is just gently nudging you, or it sucks. Like there's no middle. It's either the easiest, nicest thing, or it's the worst thing, like in the world. Because Tabori, the Japanese style, that is just poked with like a very sharp barbed needle, like over and over again. And I want that, but it's gonna kill me. It's gonna kill me.
Good times. To go with a previous podcast from a few months ago, I'll get the word Goldberg across my chest, like Goldberg famously has across his. I don't know what was on me that day, but I got Perry Saturn and Goldberg mixed up, Sam.
It's an easy mistake, you know.
Oh, yeah. They could
Two
separate
guys,
the birth,
big
right?
goatee, bald, you know.
I just said it and started speaking. I'm glad Jack and Ross called me out and go, what?
I've
Goldberg has Goldberg tattooed.
We need a time machine, and we need to go back and we need to film a sequel to Twins, but with those two instead of Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, just Goldberg and Perry Saturn. It'd be amazing. It'd be so good. We need that. We need it. And those the flamboyant shirts that he used to. Oh man, could you imagine? Oh,
Goldberg's dressed all nicely, you know, like a proper WWE dude, and Perry Saturn's got the big Teletubbies hat.
why can't you be normal?
Failing that, I would get Jeff smashing the guitar over something, maybe my nipple. And I'll do it in New Zealand just to see the look in their faces going, I'm giving you a shark tooth tattoo for this, am I? All right, great. Next question. Hiya, lad meisters. First off, thank you for all your work on the channel, full stop. But especially this week. I can only imagine your workload is outrageous right now, but we appreciate it to no end, and watching you guys' coverage is just as much a part of the WrestleMania festivities as anything for me. Thank you so much for it all, guys. Prevents us wrestling nerds from launching excitable rants at uninterested passers-by too. Though the channel has also helped bring me together with some friends online when we found we were all fans. So small shout out, if I can, to the wrestling girls in NTFC. Also, Ross, thanks to the years of WTF, and while it is sad to see it go, we understand your situation and fully support you. And if one of us had any sense or heart, me or Sam would have put that in the Hall of Fame. Sorry about that, Ross. Maybe next week if WrestleMania sucks.
Fine.
I look forward to whatever you do on the channel going forward, and we love you, man. Now, after watching the tier list video on the channel about WrestleMania main events, I thought I too should watch each one. Oh, I know this guy's been on the Twitch. The first wrestling show I ever got to see on pay-per-view was WrestleMania 32. So I haven't seen most of them despite being hyped up at the time. Well, that probably changed me. It's been good fun so far, and I've enjoyed the experience. I've also been reviewing and rating them for a bit for added fun. But whilst watching them, as there are a few regional terms in my area, the Southeast to test you on, it got me thinking about a possible quiz on WWE's favourite thing. First time evers. So what I have for you is a quiz. Oh, good, I did so well in this last week. And which WrestleMania main event is the first to fit a certain quota? For example, was the first WrestleMania main event to feature celebrity involvement? The answer would be WrestleMania 1, of course. I'll be sure to start easy, but see if I can't ramp up the difficulty as we go. And time to hand over to the natural successor to Steve Bruce, Ross Twiddell. Thank you for that, pal.
I've got a big fat cabbage head. So, Sam, on these quizzes, we normally have noises. So, when you're ready to buzz in, you need a noise. What is your noise going to be? Maffew, what is your noise going to be?
Dun-dun.
Oh, in fact, can I change my noise to...
He's a dolphin. Here we go then. First noise gets to answer the question first.
Go on, you help it.
First to have a heel... So, obviously, the answer is a WrestleMania. So, first to have a heel win.
Dun-dun.
Maffew.
WrestleMania 16.
Correct. Triple H, obviously. First multi-man singles match. First multi-man singles match. I assume that's a
What?
WrestleMania main event.
Wait. Multi-man singles match, I understand.
So multi-man...
like a three-way or a
A
four-way.
three-way or a four-way, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm terrible at exams, so I'm trying to rack my brain here.
It's been really obvious, but I can't think of anything. Turning.
Maffew.
I'm just going quickly here. WrestleMania 16?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First man other than Hulk Hogan to main event 2 successive WrestleManias.
Oh, turning.
Maffew.
Yokozuna.
Incorrect.
You did 9 and 10?
Earlier.
Ooh.
Oh, I see. Oh, right. I'm thinking of post Hogan. Right. Okay.
Can Sam get it? Can Sam even the scores?
Sam's drawn a
know
complete
it.
blank.
Maffew, do you want to answer anyway?
Yeah, Randy Savage, isn't it?
Correct. At 4 and 5.
4 and 5. Yeah. Right.
First match to feature managers/seconds.
Durnan.
Maffew.
1.
Correct. Bob Orton and Jimmy Snuka. First to feature a guest referee.
Ooh.
The decade is.
Durnan.
Maffew?
Is it 1? Isn't Pat Patterson a referee?
Doesn't count, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
The decade is the 90s.
In the main event?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, yes.
Oh, I know. No. Yeah. I know
Is
which
it
one
is
now.
it 16?
No.
No.
It's 12, isn't it?
10.
10.
Roddy Piper. Bret Hart versus Yokozuna.
Oh, yeah. Get you.
Wait, so how does Roddy count but Pat doesn't?
I think I'm wrong there.
Because he wasn't a full-time
He's not a
thingy back
guest.
then, was he? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
WrestleMania 1.
First stipulation match.
Main event. Durnan.
Maffew.
WrestleMania 2. Cage match. Bundy.
Correct. First two men to main event together twice.
What do you mean?
So both men were in 2 WrestleMania main events. Against each other.
Okay.
So this Red Bull's nice.
Yeah. I
I
enjoy
feel like
my
I should
Simpsons
be,
mug.
should be singing a song or doing a dance to fill the time here. You could have had Bret Hart, Yokozuna at 9 and 10, or you could have had Rock and Austin 15, 17, and 19 as well, obviously. First heel champion walking into a WrestleMania main event.
Durnan.
Maffew?
Is it 7?
5.
Ah, but I wasn't booing him.
First non-finish.
Oh, Durnan. 8.
Maffew? Correct. DQ, Hogan versus Sid.
Thanks, Papa Shango.
First match to go over 30 minutes.
Ooh. Durnan.
Maffew?
12?
Correct.
Any point of you buzzing in anymore, mate?
61 minutes and 56 seconds for Bret Hart versus Hubba. Sorry,
Worst
Hubba
match they
kicking
ever
cunt.
had together. Yeah.
Yeah. First to be for a title other than the WWE Championship.
Durnan. Does 6 count because the IC title was on the line?
That's what it says down here, so I assume it does. First for a title exclusive to the SmackDown brand.
Ooh. Durnan. Big
Maffew?
WrestleMania 19.
Correct. Lesnar versus Angle. Yeah. First not to end with a finishing move.
Ah. Okay.
Now, you're only going to get this if you've seen the match because I would have assumed it would have ended a particular way, but it clearly doesn't.
Well, I mean, if we're not going for the DQ finish, a Durnan of WrestleMania 8, is that the
No.
one? Oh, it has a properly ending. All right, okay. Oh, Durnan, WrestleMania 10, because Yoko fell off.
1 is written down here.
Oh.
How does that end again? I had it in my head just then. It just vanished. Is it an atomic drop? I've got no idea. We'll move on. First to take place in April. This is just a general WrestleMania. First WrestleMania to take place in April.
Is it 3?
It's 2. April the 7th.
Ah.
First to feature a suicide dive. The first WrestleMania main event to feature a suicide dive.
I want to say 3.
Dead air.
Yeah, I know,
Maffew?
Let's say 30.
No. Sam, just say any number between 1 and 37.
Between 1 and 37, let's say 12.
Correct! It's Bret Hart versus HBK.
thought it'd be
Oh,
Brett.
yeah, I forgot Lucha Brett.
And
See,
finally,
watch all those El Dandy tapes.
It
and
just used to do
finally,
the plancha, though.
winner takes all. First to feature Mongo.
Durnan
Maffew?
is, of course, WrestleMania 11.
Correct for Bigelow versus Taylor.
Christ.
And then we've got written down here, as an actual tiebreaker, the first main eventer to be under 30 years of age.
Oh, that's a good question. We'll skip the 80s and 90s then.
Or should you? Tantalizing.
Oh.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, Durnan. It's just where like Bundy was really young.
That's not what's written down here, but it could have been a possibility. Because he was
I
young,
think that's
wasn't
right, actually. I think I made it up. Go on, Sam. We'll just dance along with Ross then, rather than guess.
That's the one.
Yokozuna at 9 and 10 is the one that's written down here. But Bundy was young, wasn't he? So it could have been him as well, I guess. Hope you enjoyed, lads. All the best. Rebs from Sussex. Thank you, Rebs, for the WrestleMania Firsts quiz.
Yeah, he gave a lovely detailed list of what he thought from worst to best, and that got a lot of nice debate last night in the stream. So, yeah, it did. Honest, I'm not lying. And if you think I am lying, then you should send a lovely worded email to mailbag@cultaholic.com.
I mean,
if you think I'm fibbing, or if you have any questions, thoughts, quizzes, whatever's on your mind, how old Bundy was, any of these thoughts that are in your head right now, send them to us, and we'll talk about them on this here podcast.
Tell us about your problems.
People understand that this is pretty much why I failed my A levels and GCSE and any exam. I just can't do it. I can't. On the spot, no. Give me coursework. That's the way to do it. I'm
the same, but it's like anything else. If you know the answer to the question, it's great. Last week, I was nerd poir against Jack, so it's all right now. You're doing the sharp intake, but that's my... okay, man. Reese's Pieces. You would take me. That's lovely. Hello. Back in May 2018, on episode 20 of the podcast, I submitted a question about Takashi's Castle. So I thought to myself, why not do the same thing 3 years later, this time as a Reese's Pieces? So below are a few different challenges from Takashi's Castle, and I want you to say the name of the person who comes to mind first. I've added a little description of some of the less obvious ones. Blimey, this is a throwback. So, wait, we talked about art attack earlier, won't we? So I'm sure it's actually on
a random person, like word association.
I think it's if they had to do this course or game, whichever. Who would you pick?
Who would I pick to do it? Okay,
right. So I mean, this one, for example, number one, avalanche, the one where a person needs to climb up the hill whilst avoiding the big boulders rolling down at them. So
Braun Strowman, because he's a train, he would just knock the balls out the way.
Yeah, Braun or Bronson.
It's a good one. Given how well he avoided the bears, I'll say Jungle Boy. Bridge ball. There's no description given because there's a bridge and a ball.
The Undertaker, well, it's the one where they walk across the rickety bridge and
Yeah,
they get
right.
fired up.
Fire the cannon, yeah.
Undertaker, old school.
Kyle O'Reilly. I think it'd lead to some very comical, balancy moments.
Elix Skipper. Still amazing that happened. Anyway, Dominoes. The one where they run across dominoes. Thanks,
Ricochet.
I can't remember Dominoes. What does that look like? Paint a picture for me, Maffew.
Is it not the one where there's just it's all of the big standing
and then the
boards,
top
and
down.
The second that they go too hard on a step and they put their weight too far forward, it's going to stack. So they've got to sprint.
I would go for Rico. He was very
Rico Constantino.
Very light on his feet back in the day, wasn't he?
Certainly was for a big
I just
man.
want to see Ricochet just like somehow flip the entire thing, because I know he could do it. He could definitely just somersault in the entire way.
I like the idea of Ricochet doing it, but then of course he'd have to lose to the dominoes.
Although there is a better one for Ricochet, and I don't know if it's in the list. It's the surfboard one. Because he wouldn't even need to step on the platform. He'd have to just go quadruple backflip and then just land.
Yeah.
And it'd be amazing.
Yeah, it's a shame that's not here. Number 4, fish food. The one where they're on a surfboard that goes around the circle and they have to jump over fish heads and duck under shark heads.
Well, I've used Ricochet, so let's not do that.
I'm trying to think who's got the best leapfrog in wrestling for this one.
I'm just picturing Ziggler for some reason. I don't
He'd
know
take
why.
a bump for the shark head.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Jump over fish heads.
Linda McMahon.
She'd
She
be
just
sat
has
down.
to keep standing up.
Yeah. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun. Yeah, Zombie Linda is my pick as well. Plus, sharks don't eat zombies, as far as I know. So, the big wall. Oh, sorry, the big wall. The one where they climb over a big wall. Thanks.
The Wall.
The Wall brother. It's the Wall.
Brother. That's
Brother.
the Wall, brother.
There, I can see him.
Drake Maverick. I'd want to see that.
I like to pick any WWE wrestler who then treats climbing the cage like, oh,
Like
selling.
you've pressed L1, but you haven't
Yeah.
pressed any buttons after that. It's just...
mashing a pad like this, and it's just like, High rollers.
Oh. I'll go for Tommaso Ciampa after last night's takeover. He could just keep his legs going for days, couldn't he?
Otis. I think Otis building up enough momentum could just keep that going. Keep the train rolling straight over the top of it.
I reckon Hook's got this one, like. The honeycomb maze, and it says, mine and Maffew's favourite from episode 20. Yes, I love the honeycomb maze.
So good.
And they do this on Fall Guys as well. Near enough.
Yeah.
The same thing, anyway.
Randy Orton can get his night vision goggles on, which you'll see through the walls. Or something. That makes sense, yes.
Yes, that's how it works, Ross, yes.
I mean, The Fiend, probably. There's not really much more to add.
Triple H, because if he comes across the door that's locked, he can just smash it like he was invading Randy Orton's house that one night.
What was the black stuff he would smother on their faces? It always looked disgusting, didn't it? Oh. You know when the guy caught them in the
Oh,
honeycomb
and he'd
maze?
like catch them and he'd like mark them.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
throw them
they
in the
looked
water.
like-
It just
Yeah,
looked like a
sorry.
motor oil or something.
I don't remember that. Oh no, he's cutting Randy Orton's face and black stuff. Karaoke.
Is that when the little house, you have to keep on their knees on the little blocks? Then after the
It's
house
like the
shakes.
earthquake simulator, as they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the emphasis is on who would be the best at singing. That's a good one, lad.
Road Dogg, but Jeff Jarrett pretending it's him.
Oh, yes.
Gillian Hall, who, by the way, I saw on Reddit this week, is a grandmother.
What?
Can't
What?
believe that. No, she's a grandmother.
Christ.
According to Reddit, so it could be wrong, but you know, someone on Reddit said it, so it's got to be true.
Starting to feel really old now, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't. Off topic, I wasn't. But me and my brother rang my dear old stepmother. It was her birthday this week. And we got her a Just Eat voucher because she's at the point now where she doesn't like anything. So, like, she like food. Oh, yeah, great, cool. KFC bucket, done. So we're doing this, and it's like, oh, we haven't seen each other for a while. I haven't done a Zoom call for a while. And, oh, you're good, looking good. You're looking good. Everything's great, yeah. Out of nowhere, she just goes, oh, hey, a pair of your hairlines aren't half receding, are they not? We're like, well, it's good to see you. Don't choke on any chicken wings, or out like. Yeah. So, yeah, karaoke. Oh, we answered, haven't we?
Yeah. Waiting for yours.
Yeah, you are. Paul London, after seeing him do Thunderball and Dub X Dub that one year, knocked out the park. Knock Knock, the one where they have to try and run through the correct door.
Oh.
I can't use
Am I
stroke.
getting this mixed up with Honeycomb, mate? No, it's very similar ones, aren't they?
Yeah, the flat
Oh,
one.
yeah, I'm this is
It's
the
one they
that's
do
in
right
Fall
at the
Guys.
start to knock out loads of people.
Right.
I haven't used Strowman, so I think I'd take him here because, you know, all of the comedic stuff he used to do backstage, pulling down everything. He could just, I mean, it's part of his whole gimmick now. He'd just have to make the choo-choo happen and go running. He wouldn't need the right doors.
I need to say it before Maffew says it's Shockmaster.
Oh, damn it. Yeah. Okay, Tony Khan, because he would simply sidestep it by opening the invisible door. Mushroom tip. The one where they ride the giant mushroom off a platform, have to drop to a different platform down below.
So it spins,
it's
you have to hang on
hugging
like
it,
that, don't you?
And
Yeah.
it spins around and it drops from rail to rail and it knocks them down a foot or so they've got to properly cling on.
I sure remember that one.
Who's got good?
Oh, Devon Dudley. because when they, I think it was Christian's doing that WWE photo shoot program, they said every time him and Christian were hanging off the title things, Christian's all right at heights, so he's hugging it. It's like, oh no, you have to fall off, you have to fall off. But Devon hated heights, so he's got his arm stretched as tall as possible, so he can get as like near to the floor as he can. Bless him.
I'd say Shane McMahon, but you have to make him jog on the spot for 5 minutes first, so he's sweaty. But then you can have the splash zone. You can have like paid audience there to, as he's spinning around like a spin cycle, just all of this sweaty liquid just going everywhere, like some sort of what do you call it? Like a water hurricane thing. What are they called again?
Typhoon.
Typhoon. That's it.
Thank you, Sam. That was good.
Try to think of someone who just keeps hanging on. Just can't let go. Can't let go.
David Otunga.
Who can't let go? Yeah, I'll go for David Otunga. Is he still employed? He's not been on a kickoff show for years. It feels like
I think it would have made the news if we knew David Otunga had been released, but his contract has no way out, no way out. I think it's his theme music. Let's just change it in the last 8 years. Rice Bowl downhill. The one where they're in a rice bowl and go down a hill.
Oh,
this is one of my favourite ones.
Yeah. They have to hit the water and have to stay in the bowl.
Yeah. This one looks fun to do, to be honest with you. I can't think of anything funny.
Rey Mysterio has a wonderfully low centre of gravity, therefore that would be to his advantage in such a game.
Yes, plus all the adamantium in his legs would give him a greater sense of gravity.
Either somebody small, or somebody comically large. Like, could you imagine Test having to get into a tiny little rice bowl and go down the hill?
That would be good. Skipping stones. Ross and Jack's favourite from episode 20.
Just the carnage that ensues when someone hits the bloody one that goes down and then they crash into one that's stationary. It's fantastic.
Just broken ribs and still sat there going, yeah, I've had a great time.
Did you even see the Jonathan Ross version of Takeshi's Castle that came after the Craig Charles version?
I watched about 2 episodes of it and I refused to watch it.
Yeah, I made it through 1, I think, and that was it. Kind of do it.
That sounds like watching new Top Gear.
Oh, God. Do you know anybody that watches that? Because I don't think I do.
Actually, to be fair, I don't watch it, but I tuned into one of them, and it was all right, but they've been doing it for a few years now. I can't imagine what it was like when they first started doing it back in the day. Yeah. I watched Chris Evans on it. That was awful. What a terrible man he is.
Oh, he's not doing it anymore?
Nah, it's Freddie Flintoff, it's Chris, what's his name, and it's Paddy McGuinness.
Oh, okay.
So it's quite like Northern lads. Hey, let's go get some gravy and then pour it in some cars and go get some kettles with tea in.
You know what? That sounds more up my alley, to be honest with you.
What was the question? Skipping stones.
Yeah, skipping stones.
Skipping stones.
Sid.
Just big clumsy Sid.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if he snaps his leg, does he? He just continues. Just goes on.
Oh, I know. Someone more clumsy and useless than Sid. Eli Cottonwood. Good God. Been watching the old NXTs. Amazing somebody that bad was on TV.
I kind of want to see Steiner do it, but I'm not sure whether I want original Big Papa Pump Steiner or modern day Steiner, because I think both would have their merits.
Yeah.
I just couldn't imagine him tackling something like that without him being really like sort of apprehensive.
Cutting a promo on the Stones afterwards.
Scott, those Stones said they could beat you, and then just hand him a mic. There you go.
He just gets to Stones and goes, Ric Flair sucks.
They're fat. Did you
They're
see the
flat.
Echo? They're flat. Oh, take a bow, Ross. Take a bow. Showdown, the awful final challenge.
I never liked this bit, me.
Which final challenge are we talking? So it goes
in the carts.
So it goes carts, but then there was one where they had to climb as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, I thought the climbing bit was the.
Or do you do the carts and then climb? I think you do the carts and then you climb, and then when you get to the top, you win the castle. But it's only happened like a couple of times.
Yeah. I never saw anyone do it ever.
I saw once I saw an episode. That was it. But I think I had to go looking for it. But it was yeah. It's a strange thing. It's a very strange thing. And then it reverses, and then you've got the castle guards having to try and win it back.
Yeah, I've seen a guy beat Nightmare. It's a TV show. I've seen a guy win £1 million Only most people, yeah. Never seen anyone beat Takashi's Castle.
So we need to be quite careful here, lads, because the first part of that challenge is obviously a shooting challenge. So wrestlers and guns, eh?
Pew,
But
pew.
you also need to be very good at defending your ring. So you need good ring awareness.
Nia Jax.
He's on fire.
Nia Jax could storm the castle with ease. And she'd have Reggie there alongside her, which is an advantage.
Yeah, Reggie could be out there serving wine to all of the, the troops.
Drink
getting
drivers.
them distracted.
Our policeman coming, you've been drink driving, sir. You've got to leave your cart.
Reginald, he said it was grape juice. What are you doing? You and then they're just all carted off. That's it. Takeshi Kitano sat up top, just not knowing what to do.
And so it goes up and goes, yeah, wouldn't beat that, would you, Takashi? He's like, oh.
I can't even think of somebody who could tackle that final challenge. It's just it's so.
Yeah.
I mean, say Reggie.
Who had a car? Cena had a car once. JBL had a car.
Oh, Bad Bunny.
Bad
3
Bunny,
million
there you
quid.
go.
Use wisely.
Just ramming everybody else around. Just sat there in his
no.
Bugatti.
This car that I regret buying has been destroyed beyond all repair. Oh, no. I'll be honest, that could have been absolutely terrible, but I hope it was good enough. Thank you again for all that you do, especially over this WrestleMania week. From Craig, who signed it off with woof woof moo moo. Thank you very much, Craig. Thank you for being such a devoted fan of the show going back to 2018. You know. And there are a lot of people who stay on with the show way longer than they should, and we thank each and every one of you. Thank you, Shun. If you have any Reese's Pieces to send our way, don't hesitate. Go right to your email provider and send something off to mailbag@cultaholic.com.
It's Cultaholics.
What a great WrestleMania flavored podcast. And it's time for just one more bit, and that is the bit where we talk about how great you lot are for enabling us to keep on doing this during this WrestleMania week. And thank you for carrying on and watching this, and keep on watching with the wrestling as well, because a lot of people have dropped off, and we thank you for doing so. Oh, also, what's going to be the best match this WrestleMania weekend? Oh, let's have a look. The card, as it stands, card subject to change. Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's title. Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus The Miz and John Morrison. Winner gets a half-painted car. The New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos for the Raw Tag Team titles. Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon in a cage. Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. And Lana and Naomi versus Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose versus the Riot Squad versus Natalia and Tamina, a tag team turmoil match. Obviously, in Wikipedia, they don't put them in order of match rankings like they usually do before the thing happens. Oh, that could be main event. The first time ever.
Tamina getting a big victory in the WrestleMania main event.
Exactly. To prove she is worth $5 Canadian. And then night 2, I'll do it from the bottom to the top this time. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler taking on the tag team turmoil winners with Reginald, obviously. Riddle versus Sheamus for the US title. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn with Logan Paul and the camera. Big E versus Apollo Crews in the Nigerian drum fight for the IC title. The Fiend versus Randy Orton. Asuka versus Ripley for the Raw Women's title. And Reigns versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan for the Universal title. I've got to say, with it all stretched over 2 days, that doesn't look that bad. There's actually a lot there to get your teeth sunk into. Is there anything in particular, Ross, that you look at that and go, can't wait to watch that? Can't wait to get my teeth stuck into that like it's a crisp sandwich from Subway.
Like it's, you got your traditional Friday night chippy tea, and then your next day's your roast. Well, no, the Saturday night chippy tea into a roast on a Sunday. That's what WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 is like this year. But for me, it's one of two matches for me. One, Cesaro versus Rollins, because of obvious reasons. And the other, I'm sure it'll be high drama, high stakes. I've pissed off Sam and he's walking away.
No, I just realised the laptop's not plugged in. Keep going.
Sam just walks off as we do the podcast. Oh, whatever. I don't care about wrestling.
High drama, high stakes. 3 good professional wrestlers. Daniel Bryan versus... Oh, what's happening now?
Pay no attention to that malfunctioning laptop. Carry on. Everything's going great.
Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns versus Edge. There's my 2 picks. One of those 2 will be the best of the weekend.
I'm looking forward to
There we go. Right. Oh,
Move on to Lashley McIntyre, slapping the taste out of each other. And let's have a look. Yeah, Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, which is
I think
possibly headlining. There's been some umming and erring from Drew McIntyre and others, so it'll be interesting to see.
I'm most looking forward to the two SmackDown matches. Yeah, like the two big boys. The obviously the triple threat. I believe we may see a returning Jimmy at long last involved in that, but at the same time,
Jimmy Hart.
yes, of course. But other than that, Banks Belair should steal the show. I think Zayn and Owens has the potential to be like a show-stealing match, depending on how crazy it gets. Kevin Owens is able to do some just ridiculous stuff, as we saw last year, jumping off the Mania sign. So I think there's going to be a night full of moments for sure. But the matches I'm probably most looking forward to are Banks and Belair and the SmackDown triple threat.
And there's also Asuka Ripley and all kinds of stuff. But also, more importantly, the entrances. Yeah. Hopefully we're going to get special entrances now we're in a proper arena. There's going to be a proper crowd, and it's going to be properly live as well.
Let's all get, our life savings and put it in the middle of the podcast and have a bank on who is going to be... Have a bet on who is going to be the first WrestleMania entrance at WrestleMania 37. Who gets the first big pop back? Mine's Hogan.
Oh.
Because obviously...
Does he count, though? Because he's probably going to get a gentle entrance, and then it'll be, here I am, host of WrestleMania, and you'll never see him again. And then night 2, he'll do the same thing.
He'll be the first live entrance at a wrestling or a WWE show for however long it's been, 13 months.
Oof.
Yeah.
Just like at WrestleMania 35, where Alexa Bliss got to live out her boyhood dream of doing the pose with Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania. Remember that?
No.
Yeah, they
genuinely
Alexa
don't remember
came
that.
out, and then it was sort of handed over, and then Brock and Paul came out, didn't they? And that was
Yeah.
it.
Oof. It should be the first one out. Yeah, they are hosting, but there's a kickoff and stuff. I'm overthinking this. I'm hoping Drew does a proper big look how Scottish I am entrance. The kilt, the face paint, the I hate the Brits flag, the whole caboodle.
Just riding down on horseback, everything.
That's right. He can't beat Lashley, so he looks up and there's a spider making a web. I've got it. That was a boring historical reference. We shall move on. Sam, say anything.
Anything. There you go.
Yeah, thanks. But yeah, you know what? Sometimes after watching all of wrestling, you go, I am for this job and making stupid videos where people make mistakes. You get caught up with how much wrestling you have to watch and get caught up with, it feels like work. Looking at that looks all right to me. There's going to be some crap, and I can't wait for it. There actually looks like a lot of good stuff there. I am being optimistic because I'm happy. I'm upbeat. It's WrestleMania week. Yes.
There's got to be some surprises as well. I mean, it's the first big show back in front of people. So that's why I think, they're going to go really, really extra on the stage. And hopefully, we're going to have some big surprises, some big shocks, some huge moments. I'm kind of, with how much it's not been downplayed, but with how little it's been kind of hammered in this year. And I think looking at the card, it's like, it's all right. But, I think there's definitely going to be some stuff that we're not aware of that's going to be like just crazy moments.
Like main roster Volta.
Oh, just comes down. That's it.
Yeah.
Imagine, if you just got on top of the stage, just yeeted the ship as far as he could. Just Volta on his own, just picked up the ship and threw it as far as he could.
He wouldn't need to yeet it. Go, come here, ship. What? Shop. That's how he fixed the Suez Canal. So, yeah. So we'll move on from doing shipping, the fan ship, whatever, on this podcast. We've had a lovely time talking amongst each other about wrestling and silly bollocks. Sam, what have you got for us this week?
What have I got for you this week? I will be obviously doing... Well, hang on. I did AEW Graded. I'm editing Jack's show today. I will be in and around the office throughout, all of it, because I've got reactions to cut. There's all sorts of insanity. The schedule is chock-a-block. But I eventually will be doing SmackDown graded next week. But I imagine I'll end up appearing in some sort of news video or something between now and then, because it's Mania time, isn't it?
It is Mania time. Speaking of maniacs, Ross, what have you got for us this week?
Straight to Hell's just gone live today with Gable Steveson, who is going to be a WWE champion in a period of time in the future. Tomorrow, there's SmackDown WTF Moments, the penultimate episode before it goes away next week. People don't seem to realize what penultimate means in the YouTube comments, which is doing my head in. So that's there. Then, of course, we've got WTF Moments for both nights of WrestleMania, and then for Raw and for SmackDown next week. And I'll be involved in news stuff as well. And there's no tier list or anything, and no more Straight to Hell other than Gable Steveson. So that's it. Just all the WTFs and reactions. Cut down reactions are coming back.
Awesome. I'll be doing the Twitch stream on Saturday, getting you ready for WrestleMania by watching you play Silent Hill. Yeah, that'll work. And yeah, that is it until next week, until lots of other stuff to digest and uncover. As always, if you'd like to vote for the Hall of Fame, you go to patreon.com/Cultaholic. Any questions, thoughts, Reese's Pieces, mailbag@cultaholic.com. But I just want to say, I'll try and put this in little bits, but I don't think it's worked very well. I was in a rotten mood yesterday. I am in a great mood now after seeing you guys and talking crap.
That's good to hear, man.
So thank you for that, if nothing else. And on that happy note, I was supposed to sound happy. Sorry if it didn't. Sucks to be you. We have been Cultaholic. You have been lovely. We're going to put our hands up to the webcam now and do the famous thing that we always say, which is wiggle, 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 wiggle. Join us.
Why do we do that again? I forgot what this bit.
It went like, put our hands and do the touch, reach out and touch someone. And then it's just the hand awkwardly there. So I just went, yeah, I think it was you who just went,
ball tickle, you know?
I did the sound effect, I guess, because it's funny.
Bye.